up, MPX addicts, and welcome to the MPX Rehab. I am your host, the hashtag certified Mark J. Williams, here with my co-host, as always,
the voice of the MPX addicts, Kyle Smith.
And of course, we are here today with an MPX legend himself, Mr. Match of the Night, Ryan Remington.
Yeah, not a legend, but hi guys.
You are, but
I was gonna say it's like I can name at least one person in this building who thinks otherwise.
I was gonna say when we first started the show and started getting regular guests, you were one of the first people I wanted. I just didn't think you would do it.
They didn't ask me. I reached out because I wanted to have one, so you guys want to know how good they are at their jobs.
Which we appreciate.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Actually, surprisingly, we've actually started to get more people actually requesting, which is just
Big time, guys.
3 years of 3 years of doing this, and I still am just like, wait, people actually give a shit what we think?
Yeah.
Weird.
I say it every time. No one should listen to me, but they still do. So.
Yeah, right. But MPX's Fallout 2022. Holy crap, things have definitely changed
Yes.
at MPX. Just things have shifted around. It feels very familiar at the same time, very, very different.
Well, and it always does. It's after the big shows, Texas Rumble, Destiny, Purple Rain, something always happens. Something always changes the very next week. It's a lot like the Monday Mania. Monday after Mania, that's where everything kind of resets, and it's no different here at MPX, except we seem to do it about 4 times.
Pretty crazy.
But yeah, the Fallout was definitely Fallout. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
It fell out.
It's like whether they're calling themselves the new creative control or the lineup or whatever they're calling themselves.
It's management.
We're obviously not allowed to label them, and so has said the boss a number of times.
You are not. Notice I never tried to label them. I always
People
give the
don't-
respect
people
as
just-
management.
People just don't appreciate labels, is what
true.
it really comes down to.
I guess. But yeah, no, I'm. This has been interesting, and I'm looking forward to where this goes, especially since we are so close to Destiny already.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, this kind of thing happens after Destiny, leading up to Purple Rain, but it's just kicked off early this year.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I obviously love factions, so.
Dimitri, I miss you too.
Dmitry Alexandrov, our first repeat guest, as a matter of fact, which was awesome. Well,
Technically.
okay, our first repeat guest since getting the PR, because Dave was on 3 times?
Yeah, but one of those days was just singing lyrics or quoting lyrics or whatever.
The
So it
entire
didn't
time
count.
it was zombie. That's it.
Sounds like Dave.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
But,
And I don't think you even put those out. So
No. And what's really sad is the fact that the hard drive that was on bricked. I was just like, I was gonna put that up just to just have fun and everything, but no, it bricked now.
Yeah, Kirby and Red are both saying don't label, so stop labeling.
People don't like labels.
Okay.
I labeled you.
Other people are saying things like greatest creative control ever and everything like that. So we'll see. But yeah, no. Let's go ahead and get with the matches real quick. The dark match actually made me kind of happy because it was a friend of mine who had been wanting to see.
I was going to say, we talked about it on Mainline, so it was someone you were close to.
How dark was it?
Well, it was
Were the lights out?
Not all of them. Most of them.
Yeah, I was going to
Most
say, some of them
yeah.
were, so the lights did go out.
Yeah. Luckily, Tommy Prince hadn't kicked it out, so it's all good.
Damn.
But, Zach Morg, the horror show, taking on Leighton Anders, who I'm not familiar with, but, he wasn't horrible through most of the match.
They were all right. Obviously, missteps here and there, because that's going to happen.
If we were able to watch that match, you could pinpoint where it went wrong.
Yeah, it was when he caught him and he tried to do like a standing gunslinger or something. It just
Yeah,
didn't
because
hit right.
Leighton went right instead of left.
Yeah.
Always go to the left.
Back into the left. Back into
Yeah,
the left.
exactly.
It's a JFK reference for anyone who doesn't know.
But otherwise, it was actually a fairly decent match. Definitely showed that these are guys that should come back to MPX at least once or twice.
Maybe. We'll see. The dark matches haven't really, with the exception of Iron Belly, no one's really ever came back. So.
Well, no.
Oh, yeah, Fear the Fro came back.
Yeah, Nathan Estrada.
There we go. I was like, I can't remember his name right now. Just remember
Yeah.
the Fro. I wouldn't mind seeing Zach Moore again. I would like to see him when our horror show and our monster is actually here. That would have been interesting.
Oh, are you kidding? They want that match.
I know they do. That's one reason why I said it. But no, I think Sky and Zach Morg down the line could be really good.
Yes.
Hopefully at MPX. I want everything at MPX, obviously.
Yeah.
If it's somewhere else, that's great.
Well, it's like if they do decide to go the creative control route, they're missing the monster that they had in Hardakis last time. So maybe Zach Moore can fill that role this time.
Was Hardakis really ever part of creative though?
Not really.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I thought. I was like, not
fully
really.
part
so.
of creative, but
yeah, no.
He hits pretty hard.
They have a monster. It's Red. Red is their monster. You laugh. Red is unkillable. We've seen that.
I meant physically, not morally.
That's pretty accurate. Tommy and I tried to
also...
kill him in one match, and somehow he didn't die.
Yeah. No, that is that is Red Chambers, as unkillable as Jason Silver almost.
Yeah.
And Silver even.
Kirby also mentioned that Q Black returned as well.
Oh yeah, Q Black returned.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, well, we haven't got to it yet, but yeah, it's getting there.
And Levi Lucas.
I don't think he was a return though, was he?
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah. He fought Q Black.
Didn't remember him at all. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. But that was a good match. Leighton Anders winning. So let's go ahead and start with the show proper, because this one was
the lights were on.
the lights were
our half dark match.
Yeah, half dark match. Well, the opening segment where the new management team or whatever they're called comes out.
Stop
and,
labeling.
Well, I'm talking the
Kirby,
security.
Richard Hill, Kirby came out. That's all you can use their names. It's okay.
Kirby, Richard Hill, Kirby.
Kirby, Hill, Red. There we
Yeah.
go. I've had a rough week. Leave me alone.
Words are hard.
Leave me alone. Rough week.
But they come out to basically, show that their list actually meant something with, Kelsey Johnston getting a gift from her favorite wrestler.
Yes.
That guy, Red Chambers.
And isn't it nice when wrestlers show affection to their number one fan?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. And, of course, security, Nick Nash and the other guy.
Wow.
Do you know his name?
Angel.
Angel?
Yes.
Okay.
See, I'm actually good at my job despite what people think.
I didn't know if he was going by that name or the other name that he goes by or what,
Yeah.
But, they come out and they're, of course, blocking, Brian Pulver from being able to take shots.
Richard has a thing about cameras. He feels a picture stills his soul, so therefore you can't take a picture of him.
Brian Pulver, like all of the reporters and semi-journalists that attend MPX, would not be stopped. He actually got some fairly decent shots regardless.
Mm-hmm. Sydney, we're not allowed to use that word here.
Oh, yeah, no. We have an algorithm to worry about. We start talking about that, we get demonetized, and, oh, wait, no. Never mind. Yeah.
They don't
But,
make any money.
no, it's, and of course, just the Travis Vitosh and his son David getting special treatment for David ratting out the Mad Prince.
Didn't rat out. He told the truth.
Good for him.
As good every little kid should.
Good for the Vitos.
See?
You guys are
Exactly.
doing great.
Yeah, nobody likes a tattler, though, Didn't you say that once?
I never said that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
Who still says words like tattler?
Right? Not once have I ever said that word. I may have said snitches get stitches, but this is different. You gotta remember, I grew up in Southeast Dallas. I don't say tattler.
I didn't grow up there. I definitely said tattler.
But it's like it definitely set the tone for the entire night with things coming back and repeating, and a repeat performance, I guess you could say, from certain members of this group later on.
Yeah.
Why are you being so vague?
Because
He doesn't like spoilers.
Okay.
it says the guy who put spoilers as a thing on our shows.
Just saying, Batman dies in the new one.
Shh.
He hasn't seen it. He we talked about this earlier.
But then we get to the
There's
first
also
match,
a sequel, so.
with Civil Disorder, represented by the rugged Gabe Wilder and Final Boss Exodus Prime, taking on Devion and Levi Lucas. And this tag match was actually surprisingly competitive.
It was. I was actually shocked at how well Davion and Levi worked well together.
Mm-hmm.
Something I don't think they've ever seen before. But no, the chemistry there, it was really good. And we obviously know Exodus and Gabe have great chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Like their finisher. It's, like I said, I always joked it's kind of like half a dark match because obviously you kind of know Civil Disorder's going to take it. And they did dominate majority of it. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a squash, but it was pretty close.
Like I said, more competitive than I was expecting, but definitely not a squash.
No, and obviously, I think the big thing coming out is the announcement of they want titles back.
The tag titles specifically.
Yeah, and going after the Lost Boys. That's tears me up a little bit inside.
Although Exodus Prime is also making a play for another title as well, or, at least on Facebook. The Facebook group.
Well, as well as he should. I mean, we've seen Exodus the past year. He deserves any title he wants, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the best in Texas right now.
Well,
so.
It's not true. Nobody deserves anything they want. But
That's
got a point.
That is a good way to look
But
at it.
it's like I don't know how much he'll get because they punished Tatum for dropping the mic once, and Exodus keeps dropping it again and again and
Fake
again.
news.
you're right, Phil. I am number one.
That is true.
You'll forever be number two.
But no, it wasn't. See, Exodus didn't. Yeah, he may have dropped it. Tatum spiked that shit. So there's a difference.
You sure?
Oh, I'm sure. Ask
That's okay. Exodus says he's gonna
ask management. There's a difference.
Exodus says he's gonna break it next time. So
That's definitely not.
Yeah, it
not
might
good
not
to
work
go
out
with
for him.
management.
I would suggest against it. Not that Exodus watches our show at all.
Oh, he
but,
will when he's on it.
That's a surprise for the future.
Oh yeah.
Whenever PRs
We're still
will
working
actually
on
get- Yeah. But that was I'm interested to see where that's going to go because I was actually wondering what are they going to do as competition for the Lost Boys with the tag team titles because it's like they are one of the greatest tag teams at MPX history and the only other team that is even close to equal to them, if not greater, one half of them sitting right here, and the other is
equal?
I said
Right?
close to or greater.
It should just be greater. We
Yeah.
beat them.
Yeah, they
true.
did. And they had the longest reigning tag title run.
Yeah.
They were
We did.
remember they were the tag team of the universe.
Yeah.
We were.
Do you not remember the great words of Jamie Aller? Have
no,
you already forgotten so much about
I'm the one
Jamie?
who pointed out in like the 3 years I had been going here since before he retired. The
Retired
Impact
from
players,
what? I don't retire.
Impact players, or larger than life.
Yeah, those are the
Both
only two
versions.
names we had.
But they were tag team champions for most of that 3 years.
Yeah.
like
Because
more
they were
often than
More
not.
like
Dominant.
4 years.
Dominant. No one could beat him.
Yeah.
Well, I only started in 20.
There's only one other person who's a better tag team wrestler ever in MPX, and that's Stephen Kirby. I don't know how many tag team titles that dude had.
That's
with
true.
12 different partners.
Yeah.
Soon to be 13 with Red, probably.
There you go.
We'll see. I mean, Civil Disorders, gunning for that one first, and everybody's gunning for that prospect championship.
Who's
So we'll see.
bringing guns to the show?
No, we're not in Waxahachie. It's okay.
Okay. That's very good to know.
I was still surprised to find out that was Dylan and Locke.
Huh?
The ones that Dumpster Fire pulled the gun on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's locked. Does that really surprise you?
It
Hey, look,
should-
I love Locke to death, but...
Matt Locke chipped my tooth. I want everybody to know.
So I was going to say, see? That's what I was going to say. I
He
love
still
Locke to death.
apologizes to me every time I see him. I don't forgive him.
It's okay. Silver got revenge for you by just knocking his out.
Jesus
so.
Christ, yeah, he did.
But after that, we had a triple threat match of Mikey B, Joe Angelo Garcia, and Jackson Stone. Everybody. In a triple threat match that was...
I'm just reading.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think one of the more, because first of all, going into this, I like when shows don't have a lot of matches now, or any at all. And that's what this show was, and it was amazing. And to have this triple threat is, I mean, you've got one of the best ever in Jackson, one of the best wrestlers in the world renowned. You've got Joe, who is one of the best kept secrets in Texas, and shouldn't be. He should be on the level of Jackson world renowned as well. And you got Mikey, who's up and coming. It was amazing.
Definitely. The match itself was a lot of fun with a chop off of sorts between Joe Angelo Garcia and Jackson Stone
Poor
on
Mikey.
poor Mikey B.
His chest still hurts.
Yeah.
He still has handprints.
And
Probably.
the one moment where Mikey tries to get in on it, and Jackson says, "You don't want to be a part of this."
No, you don't.
Unfortunately, he was a part of it anyway. So.
Well, and I thought it was smart, coming out. You're in there with Jackson, Joe, and Mikey both kept their shirts on. I'm gonna go, okay, that's smart. And then they immediately ripped Mikey's off,
Yeah.
and I was like, poor Mikey.
Well, that's because if you're going to do effective chops, you gotta remove the armor.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know. Ow, Gabe.
Still whining about that?
I'm sorry, he's got pretty hard chops. He's up there with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually Mikey B coming away with the win on that one, pinning Joe. As
Yeah.
a matter of fact.
Like I said, very good match. Something that was shocking, and it was also it was fun because again, no one knowing the matches, all three of them were loved at 1st and then Joe, being the professional he is, like, no, someone's gonna get booed. It's gonna be me.
Yeah.
So I love that, and then I loved all the stupid fun stuff at the beginning with
The
putting
dance contest.
putting Mikey's glasses on Nick, Jackson's shirt on Nick, the fanny pack of Joe on Nick. I mean, it was great.
Yeah. There's a reason Ref Nick was in our lead up for our lineup for the Rookie of the Year and everything like that.
Oh shit, we still have awards?
Yeah, somewhere. I'm working on it. Trust me. But yeah, well, and of course with Mikey B winning this match, that gave him the boost of confidence he needed to come out and challenge the King
Spoiler.
later on. We'll talk about that one in a bit. But then after that, we had the MPX Prospect Championship defended for the second time by Tommy Dean against Mr. Legs, and this was a heck of a match.
I don't want to say surprising because Legs always really does kind of perform. But going into
All
it, you're like,
three of them.
yeah. Well, one of them's on PED, so. Which got proven finally. Thank God.
I don't believe it. No acceptance.
But yeah, no, Legs going in against Tommy Dean, and it was amazing. It's one of those where it's, holy crap, Jamie's watching now. I'm nervous.
Oh,
Hey, Jamie. I love you. I'm gonna miss you.
But yeah, that's the thing is Legs coming in and still proving why he is one of the, I don't want to say forgotten trainees and one of the forgotten students, but it does seem he gets overlooked
he was
a lot.
Rookie of the Year in 2020.
He was, and it's one of those I think people do tend to forget because we have Ryan, Tommy, Jackson, Mikey, Red, all these great talents, Iron Belly, coming out of the school, and then there's Legs, and Legs is one of the better ones. It's just I don't know if it's the character. I don't know if it's we don't see him a lot as we used to. But it tends people forget actually how good he is.
Yeah, no, it's like honestly with that Red Rain match that he had at Purple Rain in the Sky.
Match of the year.
If that wasn't, proof enough that Mr. Legs is a hell of a competitor, the fact that this match was as competitive as it was just not surprising to me in the least. But eventually, Tommy Dean coming out with the win, making his second defense. Unfortunately, doesn't matter at this point.
Well, I thought it was smart, when management came out and the security came out to help Legs. Well, Tommy left, and they helped Legs a little bit. It helped him to the back.
Yeah, helped him. Yeah, sure.
They did.
We'll go with that. That works for me.
They made sure to target Randy, which is what I love.
It was so bad that Mr. Legs' #1 fan will be making an appearance here at MPX next
Oh,
week.
is he?
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to see Chris Fulmer. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the match was really good. And then, yeah, Tommy coming to win. That's his second. He has 2 now. Well, did. So, yeah. It was good. And then, of course, later on, we got the vignette of Red and Kirby. We don't know what Tommy said to them to upset them. See, this is the part where Charles tries to put his own storyline into it. No. Tommy probably said something.
Sir, we have no room about talking about putting our own storylines into anything. Okay?
I'm just saying, Tommy Dean is a little bit of a hothead. He has spouted off at the mouth sometimes. He's come on our show and spouted off stuff before.
That's true.
So he might have said something that kind of upset Kirby and Red, and they stood up for themselves. And bravo to Kirby and Red for standing up for themselves.
I'm sure they did great.
See? I mean, the last time an XV member was beat up in the back of a truck, we haven't really seen him since. I'm just saying.
He came back. He was part of Parallel.
I said kinda. Yeah.
Tommy Dean
Wes came back once
is
or
he part
twice.
of XV?
He is.
I didn't know that. Good for you, Tommy.
Yeah.
But, of course, that led to Tommy being injured and unable to compete. So, therefore, due to a vote of the MPX addicts,
I don't
Tommy
think you
Dean-
understand how air quotes work.
He doesn't. So English was not a good subject.
Clearly not.
You're one to talk.
That's what I do. I talk. That's
You
all I
guys
do.
both talk. You have microphones.
But, and thus being stripped of the title by MPX management.
Probably rightfully so.
I was gonna
If you're
say,
injured,
when you
can't hold
can't-
on to the title.
Exactly.
I did, but that's different.
Because you fought through injury. Tommy can't fight through injury, apparently.
I didn't fight through that injury. I just held on to that title and came back and kept defending it.
I was going to say you had a better manager.
I sure did.
That is true.
But yeah, I'm interested to see where that's going to go with Tommy Dean. He's physically got the title.
Oh, shit. We got in a Victoria already. God damn.
Oh man.
What is it?
Red Chambers, calling his big fan, his number one fan, Victoria, for some reason.
Oh, cool. Proud of you, Red.
You see?
He's standing up for himself. So
He is.
He's changed demeanor. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
He is
Definitely
that
that guy,
I
yeah.
don't know what that means, but I know what you mean.
But then after that, we had, once again, honestly, match of the night with the MPX Addicts Championship. Yeah,
He's here.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But I'm talking about Saturday night. He
Well,
wasn't
then
here Saturday night.
Right,
so
but so then
someone else can be match of the night. As Jerome Daniel Griffey defended the MPX Addicts Championship against Mr. Nasty.
I
Yes.
don't know who Mr. Nasty is, but JD Griffey is the man. Love you. Mexico.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this match was amazing. It's one of those. I wish Mr. Nasty we got more. I wish he. I want to say more local because we've seen a lot of Goldman guys come in. I mean, Wes came in for almost 4 months straight, give or take. But Mr. Nasty is one of those that you don't think the character would work nowadays, but it does, and it's amazing.
It's because he's got a, how do I put it? He's got less of a stereotypical spin on it and more of a cultural spin. Because it's
okay.
very, very Louisiana.
That is true. But yes, having a street pimp in MPX is
Street
amazing.
pimp, hell yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And he pimp slapped Jerome a lot.
Sounds like a horrible idea.
It was.
It was, but
he ended up
was
taking
great.
a nap.
The match they had was amazing. It was better than I thought it would be, and that's kind of weird to say because both these men are great athletes, but it's one of those where you look at the matchups and you think Jerome being Jerome, you think Jerome's going to easily take it. And he didn't. Mr. Nasty gave a better fight than I thought he would.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And like I said, the slaps, the kicks, everything they did to each other. I mean, you felt them. And it was great.
That's actually one of the things I really, really appreciated about JD Griffey's title run is the fact that, dude is so good that, he deserves the name King of MPX and, has been said by other people, King of other places as well.
He's King of Texas.
Yeah. It's like
Barrett gave that
the
up.
matches
so.
are still good. They're not just straight up squash matches. He actually has, really freaking amazing matches.
Look at him and Legs, which everyone, us included, thought, oh, this is going to be awkward because Legs isn't used to the style. As we've heard from several people, Legs is not as flexible as
We
people
heard it from
think.
Legs himself.
Yeah, and Jerome made that.
Trust me.
And Jerome made that a amazing man. Not just Jerome, Legs too.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing match, and it was something where it was still. I think that's the mark of how good Jerome is no matter who he's in there with, it's always still believable. He might lose, even though going in, you're not thinking he's going to lose. And that's the mark of how good Jerome is as a performer.
Yeah. But after that, he issued an open challenge for anybody for the Addicts Championship at Destiny because, he had just gone through one of the greatest matches of the year so far. And we're only, a few months in.
And spoiler, I didn't answer it. I wasn't there.
I was hoping.
But instead, it was actually, Mikey B coming
Yes,
in and
that's
answering
what
that
it's
challenge and doing it in such a way that I'm just like, I almost expected, Griffey to kind of just knock him out.
He got in Jerome's face, nose to nose. That's not many people walk away from that. And for some reason, Jerome let him walk away. I mean, I guess because he's going to show at Destiny why he let him walk away. Because I guess he doesn't want to play with his food. He's going to go ahead and just finish the meal at Destiny. But man, that was. I was happy to see it from Mikey because we haven't really seen that intensity from him. That was great. But then again, Jerome proved not only how good he is in the ring, proved how good he was on the mic. And every comeback he had for Mikey, I thought was amazing.
I mean, honestly, Mikey B has, since his debut in May, he has honestly just proven that he is really just that good. He main evented one of the big four.
Yep.
And now he's going up against one of the best ever. for honestly my favorite championship. But
What did he main event?
he main evented Cold Day in Hell.
Yep,
What was
against
it?
Casey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you, Mikey.
Yeah, and that was a hell of a match too, actually. But no, I'm looking forward to this one, and I don't know, Mikey may have bit off more than he can chew this time around.
Yeah, we'll see.
But then again, he wasn't thinking clearly with that whole, only thing I like about you is your girlfriend.
That was brilliant. That was amazing, and I like how interactive the fans are and know to where they immediately were like, "That's his fiance,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Yeah, all right, we can do that," because that's what I like. One of the things I love about MPX is how intimate and how close we are to wrestlers and fans alike.
This last week alone has proven how interactive the MPX addicts are with the show as a whole.
Yes, and then also in Wake, you weren't there, but yeah, Hard Texas having MPX acts there was great.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did miss that. I'm hoping you'll talk a bit about that one because
If you want to, we can.
I have nothing to say about that. Tommy had a match.
Yeah, Tommy had a match against Ninja Mac of
Yep,
all
he
people.
told me that.
That was amazing.
Saw that dude
Ninja
get
Mac
all
won me
basketball
over.
goals.
Seeing him live, I was not a fan. Seeing him live, talking to him for a little bit, his interaction with the crowd, everything he did in the ring. Yeah, Ninja Mac won me over, and the guy's good.
Yep.
Like, he's not just flips and all the highlights you see on YouTube and TikTok and Twitter. No, the guy's good. So I was really impressed with him and Tommy.
Yep. And then we had the match that was, I think it was supposed to be a punishment against the Mad Prince, as he was going to be fed once again to Angel Camacho,
He got
the
punished.
Puerto Rican juggernaut.
It was no DQ.
Yeah, it was no DQ, which, it's like you'd think would absolutely work in Angel's favor because that means he can do whatever he wants to the Mad Prince. But, crazy as a fox.
To be fair, Sydney, Ninja didn't hurt your knee. Tommy did, because I caught Ninja. I just wasn't able enough to catch Tommy and Ninja, so I'm sorry. I do feel bad about that. You can ask people on the right back. I was like, I feel bad I didn't get over fast enough. I caught Ninja. I just didn't catch Tommy.
He tried.
I did. My leg was over. It just wasn't over far enough.
He's not a complete asshole.
No, I'm
Guardrails
not.
are a luxury.
Yeah, they didn't have them.
When we say brace the rails, we mean it, and that's why.
No, don't brace them.
Yeah.
Seriously, don't. People
Yeah, I was
don't.
going to say, bracing hurts them.
Don't. No, not us. It'll hurt you. Don't brace. Don't
Yeah.
brace the rails. Don't listen to him.
He's the one who yells it.
I don't yell it.
Guys,
Yeah, you do.
Guys, don't brace it. And definitely don't lock anything out.
Oh, no. Okay, I will say that.
Don't lock.
That's
Don't
a
use your
bad
feet.
plan. But, it's Mad Prince coming away with the win on this one. Although I did enjoy the spot where Angel Camacho goes over to the Vitoshes and says, "Snitches don't get tables where I'm from."
It's true. Taking the table, I was a little worried because he snatched that table pretty close to their face, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
his mom is already upset that he's kind of here." So,
Yeah.
but no, everything was great. And then Tommy again messed up our apron, messed up a table. Tommy just can't get out of the
That was
doghouse.
Angel that messed up that table. Tommy just got out of the way and let it happen.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. The match itself was good. It was far less of a squash than their last match, so it was good. Why are we laughing?
Because Jamie's going after Pat.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's kind of funny to watch from the outside. Not so funny when I'm the target, and I'm used to that though. But
I was gonna say you should use question marks whenever you think Jay, because you never should think Jay.
But Tommy Prince coming away with the win. Since it was no DQ, he was able to use the ropes to his advantage to keep the pin.
Yeah, he was, and it was one of those where management definitely ain't happy about that. So I'm kind of curious to what happens this week.
We'll see. I mean, Mad Prince would be wise to make himself a little scarce at this point.
Are you telling a wrestler to not take a booking, sir? That is wrong. That is horrible.
No, maybe take another booking.
Still horrible.
Separate booking.
Still wrong. You don't disrespect MPX like that.
Yeah.
Should always want to work for MPX.
But then we had another tag team match, which of course made us very happy because we love tag team matches. So we got 2 in that night. It was great. And we got to see that guy Red Chambers and the greatest human being alive, Stephen Kirby, take on the Pub Crawlers. People were so happy to see them back together. You heard it. the crowd exploded and actually didn't actually get quiet through the entire match. They were kind of hoping against hope that Johnny and Zero would be able to pull out a win on this one.
Yeah, but I mean, you're in there with the greatest human being alive and that guy. Like, you can't go against that.
I mean, it's like we got two multiple tag team champions.
And I'm just gonna say, someone's eyes were open during that match, and yeah, it's a spoiler. We'll talk about it later.
Was it during that match, or was it?
Pretty sure it was during that match, but
sure?
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that one in a bit.
Red and Kirby for the win.
Yep, Red and Kirby getting the win on this one. Unfortunately, the Pub Crawlers keeping their record at
Zero living up to his name.
No. They've had at least 2 wins.
Oh, okay.
Against 2. Can you name who they beat?
The Chili Boys.
And
the Chili Boys and they got a upset win at one point.
All right, so they've got one official.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, wait! They beat Casey and Noah.
You're supposed to keep going.
Yeah, but it was pretty good match, but a bit one-sided.
A bit one-sided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then after that, the main event.
There we go.
1 a million. Tatum Manning taking on Big Chill, Corey O'Neal. This was a fun match.
It was because it's not here. It was kind of a Chili Boys, breakup type thing.
I don't know. Red keeps saying that he ran off and joined the Chili Boys after those guys broke up.
Was Tatum part of the Chili Boys?
Yeah.
Other places he is.
Yeah.
So.
In a variant universe.
How many times did he pull up his pants?
Several.
Several.
Still does.
Yeah.
Pull them britches up, Tatum.
Get a belt. Go back to a singlet.
Almost
something.
every match.
Just
but
don't do the barrel look anymore, man.
I did enjoy how in the Rumble they had matching gear, and then here they had matching gear. I do like how while it may not be official, it's still official that Tatum's
it's something
Chili Boy.
That's a wink and a nod.
Yeah, so I enjoy that, and the chemistry between them is good. You can tell they are good friends outside of wrestling, and they also, guess, kind of now train together, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, the chemistry
Actually,
was amazing.
like Greg Birchfield says, they know each other's moves. That made the match all
Yes.
the more interesting as they were, able to counter each other a lot.
Exactly. The match itself was good. Tatum's one of those that, while we didn't have him as Wrestler of the Year nominated, he puts on great matches when...
Tatum is the reason we started doing the fan awards.
It is.
As officially as we do.
And I like how he's actually in something. He's not in a tag team. He's not in a tag team feud because someone turned. When you give Tatum something to do, it's good. And this is what we're doing right now with him winning the Rumble and then going on to Destiny to fight the Tommy Becker. It's great. And while I was really looking forward to possibly Tatum and Casey having the Tommy Becker, because I've said it before and I'll say it again, he's one of the best athletes in MPX. That match is going to be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Just case in point, if you can see it and if they put it out, him and Ninja Mac, phenomenal. Yeah. And the Tommy Becker just proved that it doesn't matter who he's in there the ring with, he's going to show out and be one of the best.
Yeah. And, of course, that led to the final bit of the night in which Richard's guys came out and they, were...
Stop labeling.
He's got a point.
Well, is Richard not in charge of that group?
We don't know.
The end of the night.
What if it's Kirby?
A bunch of professional wrestlers came out.
Surrounding the ring surrounding Tatum. And it looked like Tatum was going to be in for the fight of his life. And then out comes the Mad Prince and the Pub Crawlers to, defend him. And, then that's when things went kind of sideways on him.
Because O'Mara saw the light.
Apparently.
He opened his eyes and he realized, I'm teaming with a guy named Zero. We've never done anything as a team. Guess what? I need to propel myself. And he did. O'Mara showed out, and it was great. It was good.
Yeah. It was actually pretty...
of all the turns, it was the most shocking.
Yeah.
It was a double-wide surprise.
Part of me, when it happened, I was like, oh, the Mad Prince is just going to join them. He's gotten tired of the abuse. He's going to join them, and they did it to where they broke up one of the most beloved tag teams in MPX, which is amazing because you literally heard the building get silent
Yeah.
and then get really loud with anger.
Oh, yes.
It was amazing.
That just goes to show you sometimes a good turn is just what's needed.
It is, and it's also MPX management. Despite what we have said several times about, oh, I do this, I do that, whatever. MPX management has always done amazing work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you let it play out.
And you know, it's like based on conversations I've had, that just once again proves that, you know, the MPX management is good at making things happen when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah, when least surprising, that's how we got Menage a Trois.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we got Larry winning the title, which is one of the most shocking things, but turned out to be one of the greatest things.
And led to somebody's first
I
MPX
totally
championship
beat the
run.
crap out of him. I hit him really hard a couple of times. I love you, Loverboy.
That Lariat was still great.
No, it was
Best Lariat in Texas.
Accurate.
although Kiefer keeps saying that he's retired, so therefore Kiefer gets it now.
Once he comes back and they have that Lariat off, it'll be fine.
We'll
Who's
see.
he?
You.
Me.
Yeah, you.
Don't get your hopes up.
Well, we've been told before.
My hopes have been up since you left, so.
You should stop holding your breath, man.
We've been told before nobody ever actually retires in wrestling, so we're just kind of like looking at.
Because I didn't retire. What did I retire from? I'm an independent wrestler. I didn't do anything. I just stopped wrestling.
That's true.
Well, some people just call that retirement. You know?
Yeah, stop putting labels on things. How about that?
I'm
There
not
you
the one
go.
putting the
See?
label on it.
Stop
I'm just
labeling.
repeating the real labels other people put on it.
Yes, Tommy Dean, you do have a very good Lariat.
Yeah.
Still didn't match Ryan's, but you
I
still have a good one.
I don't remember his Lariat, if I'm gonna be honest.
A does the buckshot.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah.
can't do that. Good for you. I could never do that.
But yeah, no, this was, like I said, it was a hell of a show because it was just the Rumble already changed the landscape entirely, and this just put it into a perspective that I don't think anybody actually expected.
No, it wasn't, and it was one of those when management was going through their list of people and everything like that. Somehow you avoided the list again. I don't get how do you avoid the list?
They just try to ignore me.
Yeah, okay,
That's
fair
what it
enough. I mean, yeah, we all try
Ignore
to.
something,
But.
hope it goes away.
I
Never does.
mean, I haven't yet, 4 years later, but
We know.
But yeah, going into this, I'm really curious to see where we go with management, what this group does, this faction, everything like that, how they're going to run Rough Shuttle. And because I said it last week with Silver Sword. Silver Sword's going to remember who they are, rise up, because we always at MPX we usually have at least one faction that runs Rough Shot.
yeah.
And I thought Civil Disorder was going to take it back, but it looks like we're going to have management or whatever they are.
Stop putting labels on it.
I know. I'm sorry. I forget. I shouldn't put labels on
That's
them.
why we keep saying or whatever they are. We're just like,
But yeah, Kirby,
quick name that doesn't even matter is whatever they're calling themselves.
Kirby, Red, O'Mara, Nick Nash,
Yeah, just say
Angel,
names.
Hill, the Tommy Becker,
Yeah.
Brent McKenzie. All those guys are a force to be reckoned with, and to see what they're going to do is going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really curious to see, because at least here at MPX, we've never really seen O'Mara heel. So to see that, I'm very excited for.
Production. Fox would have to show up.
He did show up.
Yeah, once.
When he shows back up, we'll consider him part of that group. Otherwise, he did a favor for a friend.
That's, yeah, true.
Yeah, sure.
So
we'll
he's
go
a
with
bear, so now Dimitri's got to fight him?
Winter's almost over.
There we go. There's our match, Dimitri and Fox.
that.
I'm okay with it. It'd be a good match.
Yeah. I like what production put in the notes here, calling Nick Nash and Angel 3-minute warning 2.0.
They're more like JJ and security, but Nick Nash has actually impressed me, especially after Hard Texas.
I'm. Regardless of what I say on Facebook, I'm actually very happy to see him, doing as well as he is.
Yep.
But and all that leads into next week where we've got Steel Sharpens Steel, in which we have no official amount.
Announced matches.
Thank you.
God, dude.
Hey,
Words are hard, okay?
Words are very
my
hard.
brain blue screened on me. I'm sorry.
I don't think your brain's supposed
I was
to
going
do
to
that.
say,
No, it's not, but it does anyway.
it blue screen so
Hey,
much.
what do you have? Read your notes.
But no official announced matches. But we do have the announcement. The on the flyer that MPX champion, the Tommy Becker, will be here.
Yep.
The Mad Prince
Yep.
against, better judgment. Super Tech Sprint McKenzie.
Yep.
Greatest human being alive, Stephen
Yep.
Kirby. That guy, Red
Yep.
Chambers. The Addicts champion, King of MPX, JD Griffey.
Yep.
Civil Disorder,
Yep.
which will probably be still, the rugged Gabe Wilder and final boss.
Victoria, stop yelling in the chat.
What?
Just saying, I saw her all caps. Stop yelling. No reason to yell. You're not Sky. Don't yell.
And of course, the MPX Tag Team Champions, the Texas Chainsaw, Sky de Lacrimosa, the Immortal Jason Silver, the Lost Boys.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
They're all going to be there. It's going to be a show. Go watch it.
of course, card subject to change. Anything can happen. And of course, we're going to have an announcement on the future of the MPX Prospect Championship.
Yeah. As the addicts voted to strip him, that was a shock. No, they
You
voted.
still don't understand how airport.
Yeah. No. Richard Hill took a poll, and the great Richard Hill said, "Hey, the addicts voted that he should be stripped." I believe you voted to strip him. That was a shock. Yeah.
No.
I think you did.
Do you not keep your vote private? Rookie mistake.
But, I'm looking forward to that, to see what happens. And, we'll find out. We'll find out from here. I'm sure that the girls will love everything that happens during that show. The rest of the addicts,
Yeah, we can't repeat that, Tommy Dean.
What do you say? Let me see.
I
no
can't.
way.
Wow, even YouTube's like, no, we can't say that out loud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
See, 118 to 112. It was accurate. Votes were taken. Do you see how many addicts we have?
You're not even old enough to vote, Kelsey. But, yeah.
Isn't-
So since we don't have a whole lot to talk about for the next show, let's go ahead and, skip straight to the man of the hour, Mr. Match of the Night, Ryan
I'm
Remington.
pretty sure it's already been an hour. Might just have to go home.
I mean, if you want to, that'll be a short show again.
Don't
wouldn't be-
offer me these options.
You wouldn't be the first guy to just walk out on us, so.
At least he showed up.
Yeah,
did
that's
show
true.
up.
Mikey.
Last time
I
was his
understand it was because of ice. It was a joke.
Shots fired.
fault. He's like, you weren't even there, hush.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not risking my life for ice. It's okay.
Uh-huh.
Stay off the roads when they're ice and stay off ice the drug. See?
Accurate.
Yep.
Stay
It is
away from
very
the
accurate.
clap.
Yep.
That too.
God damn it, Pat.
That is
So-
true. Tommy still does have the belt. Not sure in how they're getting it back, but I mean the other one's right here. But
yeah, but that's the addict's belt.
oh, that's right, prospect.
That's an old
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
That's the one I had originally.
that is.
Oh man, are we gonna get a belt reunification thing like with the Intercontinental?
Well, that means
title
we have to have a
from
ladder
way back
match. Tommy D could do a ladder match.
when?
Not me.
But so honestly, since I started coming to MPX, you have been a big name at MPX and everything like that. Even after you decided that you're done,
Yep.
whether you
Done
say it's
skiing.
retired or not,
Done wrestling.
you are still someone that people talk about.
Yeah, I'm flattered. I don't know why. Choose someone else. I'm gone. I appreciate it. No, it was something cool once I started kind of getting recognition. It's something I never really had in my life. So it was just interesting. I didn't know what to do with it. I got recognized in places sometimes, and I was like, I don't. Thanks. I'm gonna walk away. It's weird. I don't, because I wasn't here. I was like, I don't like people knowing me or seeing me in my private life. It's not how I am. So I was like, cool, you recognized me.
So now you know how teachers felt in high school when they saw them outside of school.
Oh, I ran from those teachers if I saw them. It was awkward for me too.
Yeah, but of course, it's like, how did you get started with this?
With MPX or wrestling in general?
Both.
One leading into the other.
Okay, so, long time ago, I started watching wrestling because my dad. We got into the Attitude Era big time. He was a huge Stone Cold fan. I was an Undertaker fan my entire life. I had a life-size fat head of him in my room. It was awesome.
The American Badass or the old
No,
school
it was when he came.
Undertaker?
It's when he came back from American Badass, so he was back to being the dead man. Yeah, I loved wrestling. I was a fan of tons of guys. First segment I ever saw, which I think is online somewhere, was Val Venus gonna get Mr. Choppy Choppy. First thing I ever remember seeing. But I loved wrestling. I got preoccupied kind of fell out with all my friends, middle school, high school-ish. I got in sports. I was going to play football. That didn't work out. Went to college, and I met my best friend to this day. And he used to watch wrestling. Very sheepishly told me. I was like, dude, I used to watch. I'll watch it back again with you. And I was just kind of making jokes about it. Because I was like, oh, this is crazy. I used to think this was like so cool. And then we got to the main event. It was Hell in a Cell 2014. It was Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins. And I watched that, and I was completely engaged, fell in love again, and I started watching religiously with him for a few years. And he eventually brought me here to Metroplex Wrestling. He used to go all the times. He lived over in Arlington. I met him when I was in college at UNT. We drove out here together, my first show, and it was the X-Pac show. It was my very first show.
Wow.
Yeah. And I saw everybody wrestling, and I hated school. I was good at it. I could do it if I wanted to, but surprise, I didn't want to do it. And I saw this, and I was already super depressed. I hated school. I was shutting down hours, and I was going to take a semester off anyways. And I saw it, and I was looking at everybody wrestle, and I just realized, like, dude, I could do this. And I waited a few months. I talked it over with my family, with my friends, and I finally decided I was going to do it. I contacted MPX, and I set some stuff up. And before I started training, I got, like, deathly ill. The doctors never figured it out, but I couldn't keep water down or anything, and I eventually forced my roommate to take me to the hospital. And they were like, oh, it's a good thing you came in when you did because you were almost critical. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Good to know.
The best part, I was in the emergency room, and I was like, it's like 2 a.m. I was like, I'll call my parents. And I called my mom. She didn't answer. I called my dad. He didn't answer. Called my sister. Didn't answer. Called my brother-in-law. Didn't answer. I was like, well, I'll call my grandparents. Don't have cell phones. They're all the way up in Jacksboro, Texas. And they answered. Thank you, Nani. You're my hero. And she got a hold of my sister or brother-in-law somehow, and they let my parents know. And I was in and out, real tired, and I woke up and my parents coming through the door. I stayed in the hospital for a while. They never figured out what it was. They were like, it was just some viral infection.
Jeez.
And it took me a little while to get over it. Me and my friends went to the Rumble. It was in San Antonio that year. I came back.
I was there.
And a couple of weeks later, I started training.
Nice.
So that's how it all started.
Yeah. And that led to, honestly, like I said before, best tag team runs in MPX history. So
For sure. I love tag team wrestling. I'm also happy to be a tag team wrestler. I'm going to throw shade on Tommy. When we first got put together, which he told this story, it was a Friday night show, and we were the only thing that Richard liked. And they decided they were going to make us a tag team. And those first couple of weeks, I'm like, oh, dude, what do we do? Can we make this name our name? We didn't come up with our own name. We had horrible names. But we were trying to figure it out. I go up to him, come up with these ideas, and he just say, okay, or he wouldn't say anything to me. And I was like, this guy fucking hates me. He does not want to be on my team. He doesn't want to do this. And then about 3 weeks in, he finally came to me and he's like, dude, I had an idea for a move. And I was like, oh my God! Finally. He wants to be on the team with me. And that's how it all started. I thought he hated me, and we became like best friends, obviously. So everything worked out.
Yeah, I remember the first time seeing y'all, because I had heard about Tommy when I was in Maine. He had done a couple singles things, stuff like that.
Yep.
One of my first shows here, it was the Royal Rumble the Saturday before. He was in a Hateful Eight, I think, for the Prospect title.
I remember that match.
And like after that, when I moved back and it's coming back, you and him had one match, and then the next week y'all had like vignettes of like y'all being friends and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then the tag team kind of just
I peed
organically
in the bathroom,
happened.
He walked in on
me.
me.
Those were great.
That was my idea, by the way. I want everybody to know that. He didn't want to do it, and I was like, just do it.
It'll be great. And it was. And it seemed almost like y'all's chemistry was there almost immediately.
Yeah, that worked out great because Tommy, like you said, he'd started doing stuff when I started training. He started kind of getting on the show. He was in the Rumble, and the Rumble was the night I started that Monday right after the Rumble. And so there was a couple other guys that started training with me, and they all fell off after a couple months or so, and I stayed in. And it was literally just me and Tommy and Kirby pretty much every training day. So we gained a lot of, chemistry together because we're doing everything to each other. So that's where it kind of like came from. It was just this natural chemistry of working together all the time. And the big thing everyone told me, because when I started, I had a couple of singles matches and I didn't really have a character. I don't think I ever really had a character. But at that point, I was still trying to really find myself as a human being outside of wrestling, as well as in the ring. And I always felt like I was pretty good at sports in general and able to understand how things worked. And I felt like that was me in the ring. I could be at the spot where I needed to be. I could make these things work. It was the in-between things and the character stuff I didn't have. Where Tommy had more character stuff. He was obviously very good in the ring. But when we got put together, it was basically like he brought something out of me and I brought something out of him because we've been working together for so long.
And it was one of those, too, where obviously Jamie saw y'all and kind of took notice. And to bring Jamie back, because at this point in his career and even now, Jamie's not coming back unless it's something he truly believes in and someone he believes in. And he obviously believed in both of y'all. That
was honestly a big thing for me because I didn't know Jamie very well at all at that point, but I knew he had been around, and Kirby had talked to me about him, and he said he was in. I remember exactly how it happened. It was not our first tag match. It was our second one. We main evented in a 3-on-2 handicap match against Silver and Leva Bates. And Leva Bates stabbed Claudia. It was payback for her getting stabbed. Didn't make as much headlines as it should have. Anyways, but Jamie came out with us, and he just was 100% sold. We went to the bar. Jamie had some fun. He came out to us, and he was like, I'm 100% in. Find a name. Get a finishing move. We're in. And at that point, I was like, all right, cool, we're in. And Jamie went to bat for us 1,000 times, no matter where we were, no matter what it was for. Jamie, to this day, one of my best friends, always will be. And yeah, he helped me a lot finding who I was and kind of understanding how to do promos, because he's a promo wizard, and figuring out these little in-between things. I credit him with all of that and Kirby with all of that too. Those guys taught me so much.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, guess like you were saying, you and Tommy were kind of the only trainees, and you are, like we always kind of joke, oh, Red is, Kirby's son. Where like, you were the first son. Like, you were the one that Kirby really, really took an interest to and showed. And every time he talked about it, you could tell he was so proud.
That came from, like, a real relationship, because Kirby's one of my best friends, too. Because Kirby saw a lot of similarities in myself from him. I was a fat kid. I was almost 300 pounds when I started wrestling. And Kirby was almost 400 pounds when we started wrestling, right? And he saw that we were similar personally and mentally, every single way, basically. And we got along. We make each other laugh nonstop. We hang out, and we think similarly. And he was somebody who always pushed me, and he saw after the first month or two that I wasn't giving up, and he kind of started investing more. And yeah, he just, I don't know what else to say to that. Kirby's my guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we've talked about it here with Kirby before. Is like he doesn't give up on people, but obviously he also takes interest in people who really want to dedicate themselves to it and everything like that.
That was a big part to it, and Kirby and I just got along really quick, and he was very instrumental in everything. Kirby is the guy.
Oh yeah. Not that guy. That's still Red.
So one of the first questions from that guy: why are you so handsome?
Only for you, boo boo.
Then there was a couple other questions. Kirby had one. He said, "What is the best story, worst story?"
I have a feeling he knows this.
I'd have to think about that, really, because I don't. It feels weird to say because I don't think about that stuff. It just depends on the context. Best stories, worst stories. Worst story for me is probably our whole trip to Wisconsin. I hated that. It was a 16-hour drive. Was it Wisconsin or was it Minnesota? It was one of those crappy northern states. It was, I don't like. And it was to wrestle, and Tommy and I were going up there, and we were going to wrestle for a tag team stuff, obviously, and for tag team champions. We're like, oh, cool, the champions. This should be a decent match. We get there, and there's these two guys that have been wrestling for 20 years. They can barely move. They're in their 40s, and they had these 3 things of death they said to me, and I just didn't want to be there anymore. And it was, they walked up and said, yeah, we tried to get them to, get you with some of the younger guys who had some more ambition and want to do stuff. And they were like, hope you don't want to do much tonight. And me and Tom, we looked at each other, and we were going over some stuff. I was like, yeah, I do these suplexes. This guy looked at me and said, just don't drop me on my head. And I was like, yeah, man, you know what my plan is? To go places and drop you on your fucking head. Dude, I was livid. I was livid. And this is going to totally break cave. We were babyface. I had this awesome, long, comeback hot tag that I was going to do. It was going to be great. And they kept talking to me saying, we should change it. And I finally just gave in. It ended up being 4 moves. That was it, and we were done. And then we came to the back, and I can't even remember the dude's name. He wrestled in ROH. It was his company. He came to me, and he was like, yeah, man, I wanted more from you on that hot tag. And the dude who told me to change it looked at me, and he was like, that's what I was telling you. I almost punched this motherfucker.
Let's see, Wisconsin, was that Silas Young?
It was Silas Young.
There we go. I was like, Wisconsin, that's like...
I was so mad. I was so angry, guys.
No, I just drove 16 hours for this. That's
horrible,
fine.
horrible experience. Jeez. Best experience. There's a few. One specifically involving Kirby that I love. We went to San Antonio. We had a few matches, 2 different matches, but we were in a triple threat tag match. This is when he was doing Greatest Human Being Alive. Me, him, and Tommy tagging together. I believe it was Johnny Bedlam. I can't remember the other dude's name. There's some dude, I think his name was Chico. He was some really short, fatter guy. And he came out playing he was Mexican. He came out playing like the stereotype short, like fat Mexican guy, right? And Kirby just was wanting to do the Kirby bomb. That's all he wanted to do. Only move he wanted to do the entire match. That's it. And this dude kept telling him, no, dude, I don't want to shit on your finish. And Kirby's like, I'm telling you I want to do it.
Right.
The guy wouldn't let him do the move. So we just fucked around the entire match. And it was great. Like, Kirby sat in the middle of the ring, and we just stood there with him. He's like, I'm not moving until they move out of my corner. It was awesome. And we were all mad with them, and we're beating this guy up in the middle of the match, and Tommy's just yelling, he will Vader bomb you. It was so awesome. And Kirby doesn't care. He walks over and he slaps the piss out of Johnny Bedlam. And Johnny Bedlam just stood there like a bitch. I love you, Johnny. But oh my God. And I was like, that dude's not gonna do anything. He just got slapped. Oh God. Did I ruin that?
It's fine.
So those are some memories. They're all funny. Fun times. I don't know what else would be. There's a lot of really great memories in general. A lot of bad ones too.
I was gonna say it's like we actually had questions about things like what was it like going to Germany and what was it like in Mexico.
They were both really cool experiences. Germany was weird. It was different because I was going there by myself. I didn't know anybody.
How did that come about?
That came from me feeling really stagnant. Like I just wanted to. Felt like I needed to be doing something more, and I just felt like I was a hamster running on a wheel, right? And I knew Jackson had gone. So I talked to him and asked him his advice on what he thought, and he gave his advice, and he said, yeah, it's definitely worth it. So I looked it up and saw how much money it was, and I was like, I emailed them and just got the dates, and that was that. I figured it out. I got time off work, and I was going. That was it. Got my plane ticket, and I went up there. And it was weird because it was just me. I didn't know anybody there. Jackson messaged people up there because he's a lovely friend. I love Jackson. And, made sure they would take care of me and stuff. But I got up there, and it was first week or two, I didn't know anybody, and I was, because I told people before I have mental health issues and stuff, depression, anxiety, and I didn't know what to do, and I just want to be home so bad. I was just like, I don't like this, I don't know anybody here. But it was a great experience. I learned a lot. I made some great friends. A friend of mine, Jay, it was Jay Steins is his name, from Ireland. Really cool kid. I think he's 20 now. He has beat cancer already. He got cancer afterwards, which was terrifying, but he beat it. Got to meet him and hang out with him for a couple weeks, and I got really close to these 2 women wrestlers, Little Miss Roxy and Sky Smithson. 2 phenomenal people, 2 phenomenal wrestlers, and they kind of helped me through that entire thing. We were tight. They were there the whole month I was there. We just went around, did everything together, joked around together, wrestled together. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I got to do the their student show, and they liked me enough. They put me on one of their real shows, so that was pretty cool too. Nice. Got to travel in Germany, go on a real show. So I didn't just do a student show. I wasn't on their network or anything.
Did you get slapped around by Walter as well?
No, Walter wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
Walter wasn't there. There's AJ is what we call him. He was there. I got tied with him. AJ was there. He's a really cool dude.
Nice.
And then I got to meet his now wife, Killer Kelly. She was cool. And then, God, there's so many.
Alexander James. Oh, shit.
Alexander James.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, wow.
Couldn't think of his wrestling name. I got to wrestle him one time, which was fun. But, yeah, I had some fun. Germany was overall a really good experience. Didn't do much. Never really recovered from jet lag. I had weird hours because they trained at night, so it's just like I'd stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning and then sleep till 11 or 12. So that was fun.
Nice.
All right. Frankie says I love you.
I love you, Frankie, my man.
So how was Mexico?
Mexico was really cool. Different experiences. I knew some of the guys that were going there. I got to room with my guy JD Griffey. We got really tight over that whole trip. Got to learn a lot. Got to really get some cardio going. They murder you with cardio there. We were dying that first week. They were having us go twice a day, and after the first week, Nitro pulled us aside and he was like, "Oh, we're gonna push you guys back to once a day." And I was like, "Thank the Lord."
Yeah, I remember. I think when we had your own show, he was talking about the stairs.
Yeah. Good God.
I hate running, and they would have us run around that stadium, that entire arena in Mexico. That thing's huge, guys. It sits 10,000 people. We were at the top, running around, going up and down stairs. I was dying.
Good God.
I wouldn't quit because that's not who I am, but I was slow. I don't run the ropes much if you guys watch my matches before. But that one was really cool. I got to learn a lot, and I really think that's where I kind of like, I feel like I kind of got it, but Mexico's when I got it.
Yeah.
Got to understand a lot, really understood stuff. And the coolest thing for me, so we got to wrestle 2 matches there, one in Arena Mexico, in front of like 2,000 people. We were the early matches, we were like number 2, and like the people who own, what's it called? Whatever.
AAA or
No,
CMLL?
the seat owners, whatever. Season tickets, season ticket holders. They don't show up till like the 4th match or so because that's when the stars go. But it was like I walked out and there's still like 2,000 people out there, and it was just so cool, kind of just taking it in. It was a 6-man tag match, lucha rules, so 2 out of 3 falls. And I actually got 1 fall on Jerome. Suck it. He got me back though. That's cool. But it was a lot of fun. And the coolest thing for me that entire time that I was there for my matches, for training, got notes, all that stuff. The coolest thing for me is that match. This is not a knock on anybody that I went with, that I wrestled with, but they were giving us advice afterwards, right? Having to use a translator. And Nitro was with me. I went with him a lot in the match, and all he did is look at me. He was telling the other guys what they could do better. And he looked at me and just said, "Muy bien." And that was it.
Nice.
And that was like such a cool, validating moment, right?
Yeah.
Then I got back and COVID happened. So. But it was really cool. And I got to do like an American invasion angle, which was fun because normally it's an invasion angle on America. So we were the bad guys in Mexico at a different place, but that was fun. I got Ray Bucanero touched my testicles, literally in the middle of that match. That was an interesting time. But that was fun, yeah. Mexico was a great time. Made a lot of really good friends. One guy was a horrible person, but he's gone now. It's fine. Don't even remember his name, if I'm being honest. But yeah, Mexico, Germany, great. Totally worth it. Wonderful.
And Greg asks, how was it when y'all went to the dojo war with Becker and Sagan?
God, that one was a long time ago. That one was interesting. It was weird. He told the story. I know because I watched it. Tommy told the story about Jimmy Lloyd. I'm literally in the back. He's saying he wants to do this dragon suplex. And I'm like, no. No. It was fun. There I actually met the first person I ever met from Germany, Francis Caspin. Wonderful human being. Unfortunately, cannot wrestle anymore. He fractured his back, I believe. Something happened to him. Ooh. He was trying to come back, but it didn't happen. But great person. We got really close with him because he was there living with Jackson at the time. So, but we got to, I think we wrestled him in the 6-man tag match. It was him and Jimmy Lloyd and this other guy that Dave was friends with, and I feel really bad because I can't remember his name. He always had sunglasses on, which was funny at the time because I did the sunglasses, so we did a thing in the match. Dojo Wars was cool. It was an experience talking to DJ Hyde. He's an odd guy. Is it DJ Hyde?
Yeah, you took a lariat from him, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. He acted like it was gonna be the worst thing I ever felt in my life, and I was like, these guys in Philly must be pansies.
That's what he's known for. He's the lariat god.
Whatever.
But yeah, I was gonna say, like,
Dojo Wars was fun.
Yep.
It was a cool experience. That whole time up in Philly was an experience. We were like Tommy said, at the end of it, we were done with each other. Yeah, but it was fun.
And I'm sure Dave took you to a great Philly cheesesteak place and everything.
He did. We went to Jim's on 6th Street, I believe. And I will to this day speak about how great Jim's is. Go to Jim's if you're there. Get a Whiz Wit. It's what I was told by a native Philadelphian. We were sitting there. They started Eagles chants. I was like, what are we doing? I was in a Texas Rangers shirt. And this guy clearly tells you're not from here, are you? I was like, no, I'm not.
Clearly.
He's like, I just want, like, I don't like mushrooms, but I want to get some. He's like, here's what you do. Just get a Whiz Wit. Just tell me you want a Whiz Wit. He told me like 5-10 times. I went up there. I was like, can I get a Whiz Wit? And the guy went, put it together. And I was like, cool. It was great. Wonderful Philly cheesesteak. Best place I ate at in Philly. Thank you, Dave. We also went to a Chinese restaurant in Chinatown. Pretty sure it was a front for a drug operation.
We have that right next door.
Yeah. No, dude, this place was, oh my, I was sitting there, there's nobody there. I'm looking around at everybody that works here. There's a dude with a long pinky nail just sitting there, and I was like, Dave, you took us to a drug place, man. I could see there were stairs going up back. I'm like, that's where they sort it all out.
Actually, it made sense because Dave says he actually ate that place. He goes, yeah, they got good food.
Dave doesn't know what he's talking. He doesn't care if it's good food. It's good food, and the food was good. I got chased down because I forgot to leave because I paid with cash and I forgot my tip. She's like, "Oh, sir, you forgot your tip," and I was like, "Here's $10. I'm out of here." We walked out. I was like, "Dave, you just took us to a drug front."
One of the other questions too was, what's your favorite match that you've had?
There's a few that I really, really like. The one with Shane Strickland was really cool for a lot of reasons.
I was gonna say, I think that was the one in your video on the network where you're like,
Yes.
nope, that's where all the lights clicked.
Yep,
Like that
broke
one.
Broke that one down, started really kind of understanding a lot. That one was cool. The one in Mexico, Arena Mexico, was really dope. And then having one in Germany was cool. I don't remember which. Might have been my first one with Jackson was dope.
Yeah.
I love that one. My whole trilogy with Chandler was cool because that's when I feel like I finally got to break out and show, hey, I'm a good fucking wrestler. It was a lot of fun, and Chandler and I were cool, so he wanted to help me with that. We just made each other better.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then I had to say, any time that I wrestled Kirby was always a delight. We could wrestle each other in our sleep. And there's tons of tag matches that I loved.
Yep.
There was a few one that surprisingly was really good that I loved was Dimitri and Jet when they won the titles off of us. It was a great match at the Rumble. And then what else was there? The one versus Red and Noah was really good. There's a lot of matches that I like. I can't pick like one favorite.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that I really, really like.
But you didn't like your Purge death match?
No, that one hurt a lot. It's the dumbest thing I've ever done. Choke slammed off the side into a pile of chairs.
If you want to know really why he stopped wrestling, there you go. But you brought up your series with Chandler and your match with Shane Strickland and everything like that. Yes. I actually wanted to, it's like get what your mindset, how you felt and about growing and everything like that. Basically legitimizing the Addicts Championship. No offense to Dimitri. You were the inaugural, yes, but...
For me, it wasn't necessarily legitimizing the championship. It was more fucking proving myself right. I felt overlooked. No disrespect to anybody that I was with, right? Not to Tommy or Dave, but I knew I was better than people thought I was. And just my entire life, I live with a chip on my shoulder. It's something I work on. But I was an offensive lineman in football, right? Nobody gets any love as an offensive lineman. My entire life, I was overlooked and underestimated, and I never understood why. Because I knew how good I was. And it took those matches is what really finally allowed me to have the confidence to know that I was good. Because before wrestling, I wasn't a very confident person. Wrestling has helped me grow leaps and bounds as a person. And those matches just like solidified that I was good. And it wasn't necessarily about the title for me at the time. And looking back, it was really cool because the Addicts title means a lot now. And I'm like, wow, I was the one that did that because I had such a long run of good competitive matches with not just Chandler and Strickland, but there was Aaron. He was with me in Mexico. Was it Aaron? Is that his name? He flies around, long hair. I like him.
Aaron
Sykes.
Aaron
yeah,
Sykes.
Yeah.
I had a good one with him. I almost threw up in the middle of that match. I was working through like a cold I think I had just come off a sinus infection.
Ow.
But I had some good matches with him, good matches with Dimitri, tons of people.
Yeah.
I had it's just for me that was my breakout moments when I got labeled Mr. Match of the Night through all that stuff, right?
I'm just glad you
Something
liked it.
about the Addicts Championship just earns people these amazing nicknames.
Yeah,
you know?
I look at it as very similar to the IC title, right? It's just the workhorse title. You go out there and you wrestle and you put on a good match. And at that moment, that's always what I wanted to do was have good matches. And I'm a perfectionist. It was the death of me sometimes. I would get so mad. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was just that.
Sorry, I just remembered the one of my favorite moments of it's like, oh, so that's what Ryan looks like when he's actually really angry in a match.
I hide it pretty well. There's more than one time that I've gotten actually angry in a match, guys.
Because the only
you
time I
lost your
remember
shit
it
at Los
is
Canales.
I was gonna say Los Canales tag match is the only time I remember you
I was so angry
losing
in that
it.
match. I was very angry. There's more than that. There's way more before that. There's more after that. I barely remember that match if I'm being honest. But I know I was mad.
Yeah, you damn near killed Caesar. It's like we saw Tommy, he'd be like, oh, nope, I got to get in this.
Yep.
But
I'm an angry person. I'm working on it.
okay, so some of the other fan questions. Do you prefer being a face or a heel?
I like being a heel. I never got to be an asshole in my life. So I was always the nice guy, the good guy. And it was wonderful being an asshole. So, and then it just came easier. Like, I don't know what to do when people cheer for me. Like I said, when people recognize me outside of wrestling, I was like, oh, what do I do? It's a weird feeling. I'm used to people counting me out, so kind of being a heel played into that feeling too. So I definitely preferred being a heel. I know my parents got very mad because I was overweight when I first started, but there's a lot of fans calling me fat. And if you'd look at them, you'd be very confused as to why they were calling me fat.
Yeah, no, that's
wrestling
something
fans. Best and worst thing about
My
it.
parents would get so mad, and I'd be like, "It's fine." I don't
No,
care.
that's one of the things that gets me is like most of the people you see doing the fat shaming and everything like that is like you've got no fucking room to talk, bro. You're taking up most of the space.
I always thought it was funny. I never. It gets me a little because anything gets you a little, but I just didn't care. I was like, dude, I'm in here literally wrestling, and you're sitting over there. So kind of who's in better shape?
So kind of going off that, where you're like you didn't really know what to do when you were facing that. What was like your return when you came to face Exodus? Like, what was that reaction like?
Okay, so this is gonna surprise everybody. I think I was the only person who did not give a shit the response I got, and the reason is because I was just this close to just being done already. I didn't want to wrestle anymore very much, but I was like, you know what? I can't live with just quitting now. I've got to know if I really want to be done. So I came back, and I came out, and the crowd went wild. And it's a really cool moment. It's a super cool moment objectively. In the moment, I was sitting there, and that's when I knew. I was like, yeah, I'm done. Because it was just like, all these people cheer for me, and I don't care. It was a weird experience, and and it had been about 2 years coming, honestly. Before I even went to Germany and Mexico, I was getting tired of wrestling. So there's just a lot that went into it, and I hate traveling, and that's all wrestling is. I hate traveling. My body was getting beat up on that. So the night Tommy broke his leg, I hurt my back. Nobody knows about that one until now, except for a few people. Because, I mean, Tommy's injury is more important. So what happened was, before he got his leg broke, he got back body dropped over the ropes onto me. And the way he ended up going, it wasn't where I could catch him and fall back. He landed on my shoulder, and I folded onto myself. And in the moment, I was like, I felt something, but I was like, no, I'm good. I can keep going. And then he broke his leg, and I was like, this is way more important.
I think that answers Greg's latest question, too.
Which was...
Have you ever been hurt bad in a match and finished it?
Twice. The other time I hurt my shoulder, I can talk about that one.
Yeah.
But that one made me be out for 2 months. But this one was, and I was all I cared about was Tommy.
Yeah.
So he's hurt, and I finished the match by myself. Roll out. We were supposed to do something. I was like, just go. There's no interview. We're done. And I'm talking to Tommy. I want to get him to the hospital. I'm trying to get people to come help me because people don't realize it at first when they come. We get him in the bag. He's kind of just in shock. Like, he's shaking. He's in so much pain. And they asked him if he wants to go to the hospital, and he just looks at him, like, asking, what did they say? And he says, I don't know. And I was like, we're going to the hospital.
Shock's a bitch like that.
Yeah. And so we get him in the car. We go through, and there's a match going on. I was like, oh, we're going through a match. And I was like, fuck this match, Tommy. I didn't care. We get into the hospital. We see what's wrong. They take the x-ray. It takes a while. We finally leave. I don't know what time. It was late. We're in Houston. We're driving back, and my back doesn't start hurting until about 2 hours till we're home. And that's when I realized, oh, I hurt my back. Like, it was on fire.
Yeesh.
And I couldn't even train. I couldn't do anything. I was planning on taking a break before this happened anyways, before this injury with Tommy and my injury. But I was going to write out all of my bookings and then take a break in probably the fall. But with his injury, almost all my bookings were tagged except for one, and I just said, I'm just going to cancel everything. And there were some bookers that were really nice, going to get me in for singles or get me in for another tag stuff, and I was like, no, I'm going to take a break. But yeah, I couldn't do anything for like a month. My back was bothering me. I helped with training because Kirby was gone, so I was here, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even roll. Most of the people who were here can attest to that. And I finally was gone, and I couldn't figure it out. I was really bad compressed spine. I went to the chiropractor. He put me back in place, really bad compressed spine. Basically, I had like a bruised spine. I got an x-ray, didn't show anything. But it was still bothering me, so we got the MRI, which thankfully didn't show anything. Just meant it was weak, and it just needed rest, and I needed to strengthen it up. So yeah, and then I came back, and there was just all that weighing on me, and life was going in different directions, and I liked wrestling. I just didn't like where my body was going, and I didn't like the training, the traveling, I mean. So, yeah, I got here, and I was tired of dealing with people in wrestling. A lot of people, man.
I keep saying the locker room theme song for any wrestling company is High School Never Ends.
Yep, thanks, Bowling for Soup. But, yeah, and I was just done. I came out, and that happened, and I was like, wow. Everyone was telling me afterwards, that was so cool, dude. That was awesome. I was like, I got goosebumps, and I was like, I didn't care, you know? And this sounds like a really sad story, and I guess it kind of is. It's kind of the end of an era in my life.
It's sad for other people, you know?
Yeah, but this is kind of like official, but I was honored my bookings. I started something. I was like, I was going to finish it. I didn't let anybody know either. Even Exodus didn't know that was my last match. I told like 4 people.
Yeah, it's like we all figured it out once Jamie and Tommy came out. We're like, oh.
That wasn't planned either. Jamie came and he came out on his own. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want anybody to know because that's just kind of how I am. I don't like people knowing about me or my life. Yeah.
Honestly, it's like one of my things to say is like, especially with this generation of wrestling and to you as well. It sucks that you're gone. We'll miss you in the wrestling world, but I'm glad you left when it's a choice for you to leave and not something you're forced to do.
That was a big thing because I didn't want to have to leave because of bad injuries, and I've had so many undocumented concussions. I don't know how many. In training, getting kicked in the head by somebody. And
damn it, Tommy, Prince.
Nope. Somebody everybody loves, and I don't know why.
Oh.
I won't start it. I want to be really petty.
What is he gonna do? You're retired.
He couldn't do anything while we were wrestling. Yeah, I didn't want that either. And I've seen so many like wrestlers retire and they're just hurt, and a lot of wrestlers die really young. And I mean, I told you guys before, I already plan on dying young. Yeah. But like, I just I didn't want to not be able to like enjoy things.
Yeah.
Anymore. Right.
So, okay, let's see. During your time in wrestling, did you prefer to be a singles wrestler or a tag team wrestler? You said you love tag team wrestling, but...
Yeah, I grew up always wanting a brother and wanting to be in tag teams, and I never got a brother, so when I got Tommy, it was pretty cool. I love tag team wrestling. My friends would always make me mad because every video game we'd play, didn't matter what sports game it was, they wanted to play one-on-one, which was cool. I was like, dude, let's play on the same team. They're like, why? Because we can, and it's cool, bro. But I loved both. Like, tag teams was fun. I always had the mentality that it's about the tag team. It's not about me. Because that's what tag team wrestling is. So singles wrestling was fun because, like I said, when I was Addicts champion, I got to kind of show, hey, I can fucking hang with anybody. And, so I liked both a lot. And to go off that, I want everybody to know, I wholeheartedly believe if I didn't stop wrestling that I would eventually get signed. 100% believe in my abilities. And I think if COVID never happened, Tommy and I would have already been signed before I quit to somewhere. Yes. So, just wanted to point that out. I had belief in myself. I just didn't want to do it anymore.
It's understandable.
I had said that forever. I was like, no, they're getting signed and they're both going to go somewhere. Yeah. Like, I'll never forget when I heard you're going to Germany. I was like, holy shit, that's fucking amazing. Yeah. And then you came back. I was like, cool. And then Mexico, I was like, oh, that's even better. Oh, yeah, he's picked up soon. Like, it's amazing.
I would have been. I really feel like I would have.
But okay, so one of the other questions was, how did y'all come up with your tag team name, and was there meaning behind it? I'm assuming they're meaning larger than life because the story behind Impact Players is pretty well known. But let's get your thoughts on that one too, if you want.
Impact Players, they brought in Just Incredible, and they'd already given us the name. They asked him if it was cool, and he said yeah. And then the second time we brought in Just Incredible, it wasn't as cool.
Poor Dave.
That's the one where he threw the trash can in the ring and ran outside, and Jamie
Yeah,
just
trash can-
like, go get him.
Trash can hit my mom in the head.
Oh, jeez. I'll just never forget Jamie looking. He was like, "Go get him," and you're like, "What?"
Yeah. I was like, "Dude, you go get him."
It's like that's the same one that Dave had the problem with, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Dave. I just threw the trash can, hit my mom in the head. My funniest thing is my dad tried to say he put his hand up to block it. I throw my dad under the bus. I watched the video back, and he didn't do shit. He was looking sick. I
Probably didn't see it coming, but
love you, Dad. I know you're probably gonna watch this. But I mean, just what they get for supporting me, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks for the support, Mom and Dad. Larger than life is we just wanted to change our name. We didn't want the Impact Players name anymore. We were tired of getting questioned about it everywhere we went. And not many people liked the name we picked, Kirby especially. But we'd already started saying we were larger than life,
Right.
and we were just like, just go with that. Why not? We kind of had some other names bouncing around. We're like, we'll just do that, and it worked out with Jamie picking the cover by Backstreet Boys, or not by Backstreet Boys, the cover of the Backstreet Boys song. NSYNC's better, just want everybody to know that.
See? It's true.
So, that's
now Mikey wants you to come back just so he can.
We talked about that so many times. But yeah, that's all larger than life was. We just wanted to change the name.
No, that makes sense.
How'd you come up with 4K?
Because we were using the 3D, and I said 4K was better than 3D. Doesn't give you a headache. Better resolution. That's literally it.
And I'm assuming
We said it as a joke.
Works.
We said it as a joke, and everybody loved it. We're like, oh, we're going with 4K.
Works. Yeah.
And I'm assuming just being a tag team, you're like, oh, that's one of the coolest tag team moves. We'll just do that.
We didn't even pick that one.
Oh, really?
It was handed. Richard said you're using this, and we said okay.
I mean, it looked incredible. So
Yeah.
We practiced it a lot.
I was gonna say, and that's something I said even when y'all did it. I was like, I don't think people understand the timing y'all have to hit it as perfect as y'all did every time.
Yeah, well, we got to a point where it was second nature. Didn't matter where he was at, where I was at. We just knew and we could make it work.
Yeah. And then, of course, there were Dave's attempts at making like the 8K and 10K or whatever it was.
Yeah, we just didn't get to practice as much. Dave didn't come up to training as much, so we didn't. We had ideas, and they were cool ideas to do different versions of the 4K with all three of us. I thought it was a great idea. They just didn't work out as well, but not a big deal.
Yeah. So somebody wants to know, what do you have against birds?
They're not real, dude. They're government drones. That's what do we mean? 1950s, the U.S. government started systematically dismantling the bird population in the United States and replacing them with drones so they could secretly spy on the U.S. population. And about 90-95% of the birds you see out here in the U.S. aren't real.
It's better than the flat Earth theory. Makes more sense,
You know
actually.
there's flat earthers that don't believe Australia is real? It's pretty great.
That's hilarious.
They think it's an island off of New Zealand and everyone there is an actor. I know people from Australia. It's amazing.
That's okay. There are people who think that Australia is under, martial law right now. So,
No, it's just Ukraine.
Yeah.
Can't say too soon. It's happening.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tag team. Kirby asks that you talk about what a team.
Fuck you, Kirby. Didn't Tommy already talk about this one?
I think so, but I think he wants your perspective on it.
God. Dude, we're wrestling in Corpus Christi against Aaron Mercer and whoever, Calavero, I think was his name at the time. And we're in triple threat tag match against them and Wada Team. I don't remember their names, but they were wearing Whataburger gear. And they were, like, they claimed they trained Roxy, like, all these things. I'm like, who are you guys? I've never heard of you in my life. And my whole thing, I knew it was going to be a shit show from the beginning. It just ended up being worse than I thought it was going to be. I just wanted to make people laugh. My whole goal was to make Calavera and Aaron Mercer break. And I made Calavera break before the match even started. It was on our entrance. All I cared about was to make these motherfuckers laugh. Dude, we were in there, and Wada Team was just so We were like, what is happening? We're at a point, I think there's a video somewhere of like me and Tommy. Tommy starts pacing, and I'm sitting there like, what is going on? I get so bored, I just start naming the moves that they're doing. I'm like, and it's a headlock! Like, it was so horrible. I hated these guys. I shouldn't say that. But I don't know them well enough to hate them. I hated their wrestling.
I was gonna ask, was Sapo on this team or something?
Fuck Zappa. But yeah, and the one guy F5'd me at one point and just landed me all on my side, my arm, my ribs, and I couldn't breathe. I was like, this is the worst. And I think that was the match where we finally decided we're never going back to Corpus Christi. This is always just shit matches, and the guys, Carney Boogers won't get you tag time. Whatever, dude. I don't care. I'm not wrestling anymore.
Like I said, what are they gonna do?
All right.
One of our favorite questions: biggest mistake you've made that you don't regret?
Like in wrestling? Or life? I don't know.
That's why I love this question.
Becoming a professional wrestler. That's probably a huge mistake for a lot of reasons, but I don't regret it at all for the amount of things I did, the person I've become. I got to go to places I never would have gone because of wrestling, and before wrestling, I didn't want to fucking go anywhere. Like I said, I hate traveling. Yeah, I mean, it's a general answer. I feel like probably wrestling. There's probably other mistakes. I don't know what I regret and what I don't regret. I try my hardest to live in the now. There's a lot of regrets that I hate. Regrets, mistakes that I don't regret. I guess wrestling. I don't know, man. Breaking up with some girlfriends. I wouldn't call those mistakes, though.
No. They're called life experiences.
Dating those people is a mistake. I don't know, man.
So, looking back, were there any dream matches you wish you had been able
Barrett
to make?
Brown, motherfucker. I was asking for you for 2 years, and you said, "Yeah, let's do it." Never happened. Tommy got him like 5 times. I was so mad. Never got Barrett Brown. Dream match. I had Moonshine Mantell twice. Dude canceled both times.
Oh.
I'll never forget that, Moonshine. Love you, Ryan. But god dang.
Oh, that lariat contest would have been great.
Yeah, we just hit each other so hard. I wanted Barrett. I wanted to wrestle Barrett really, really badly.
That would have been great.
Just never worked out.
So, other than matches, what's one of your favorite wrestling moments?
Like with me?
Yeah.
I mean, winning the title was really cool here. Winning my first title was really, really cool for me. The tag titles that we won. I think we beat DTF, defunct forever.
Good reason.
But I don't know. There's a lot of moments that were just cool, like being in the first Rumble. You know,
Being one of the first Iron Men in the Rumble.
Was I? I was an Iron Man here, wasn't I?
Yeah.
There's a picture of me because it was February.
It was right after your shoulder.
Yeah, that's what sucks. My first match back, and they were like, 50 minutes, go.
Damn.
And I was like, all right.
Sure thing.
I remember guys that came in afterwards because I don't wet my hair down. I never wet my hair down. And they came in and they talked to me afterwards. They're like, yeah, we came in. And I was like, did he wet his hair down before he went in? The answer is no. I sweat a lot. That was cool. There's a picture of me after the match, very tired. And there's just steam coming off me because it's so cold. There's a lot of, there's a lot of really cool moments. You know, got to wrestle some of my best friends with some of my best friends. Wrestling in Germany is dope. Wrestling in Mexico. I don't know if I can pick a favorite moment. You know, there's a lot of cool things that I did.
Yeah. Matt Prince says that one of his favorite moments is they got to wrestle you.
Oh, yeah, we did wrestle them. I got mad at that match, too.
Remedy said he also wanted to wrestle you.
Oh, I did want to wrestle Remedy. I love Remedy. Remedy's a great dude. We got pretty tight and just would say the dumbest things to each other. Send each other stupid memes and videos. He's a great dude. He was really, really cool. I'll tell a story about him. It's not a bad story. So when Tommy broke his leg, the people we were wrestling, I don't want to name names. Most people know who they are. And they were cool. They felt bad. They had messaged us asking when we were in the hospital if he was okay, blah, blah, blah. And but I just remember Remedy called me. We were driving home. He was like, "Hey man, did those guys talk to you? They asked if he was okay." I was like, "Yeah, they did." He's like, "I was just wondering if I had to do anything." 'Cause they were just sitting over there acting like everything was fine. I was like, I loved Remedy before. I loved him even more after that. He's a great guy. Yeah, I did want to wrestle Remedy. He would have been a lot of fun to have a match with.
Yep.
Wait, Tommy, was that your first match ever, or just your first match at MPX? Because I know it was your first match at MPX.
First
but...
MPX match, him and his
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah,
no,
that
I
was the
thought they
first-
wrestled before that.
First time the boys came in.
Yeah. But anybody have anything else? Because I'm out of questions over here.
I can just talk. It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, there was one. Someone did ask, how did Baby D start doing your hair?
Oh.
I think I just asked her, and she said, "Yeah." There's not a mix. Baby D loves us. That's all it came down to. She will do anything for the people she loves. And if she doesn't love you, sorry.
But she chopped Tommy so hard.
She did. Tommy volunteered for those spots, and I was like, "You have fun."
You go for that, bro.
He loved doing the spot where he gets caught in the apron. I was like, "That's great." Yeah. I was like, "I'll go up, they'll chop and they give me the chop and they put me there and I'll duck and you take the big chop." And those sucked the worst for him because they couldn't see where he was 'cause I'm bigger than him.
Right.
So they're just blindly throwing.
What for your return, and I'm sure it was personal choice, it wouldn't had anything to do with wrestling, cutting your hair. What was
Oh, I hated having long hair. I was so tired of it. I like 2 years before I cut it, I was like, I want to cut this shit. And then Jackson cut his hair. I was like, fuck, I can't do it now.
Yeah, you came out. My first thought was, wow, Ryan did the aging Canadian wrestler thing.
It went shorter on the sides than I wanted it to, but it was fine. Yeah, I just hated having long hair, and they kept breaking. We wrestle, and they wouldn't stay in, and I was like, I'm just done with it. And it was just, at work and everything, have these parts in my hair, even when I have it up in my face. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I understand that.
how did you and Tommy come up with y'all's entrance as far as like the stupid jacket pose and everything like that? Was that y'all just messing around?
He
or?
messed around once and did the jacket thing with the single stuff, and then when we tagged the first time, I made him stop and I did it. And I made him do it with me, and we just thought it was funny, and we just kept doing it. We didn't really plan much of our entrance. It was just kind of like, let's go out there and mess around. We're like, I'll go this way, you go this way. We'll meet up in the middle. Like, we're like, cool. All right, we'll get in, do the jacket thing. Yeah, sounds good.
So was the So Good thing, like that whole moment at the pre part of the match, was that just like messing around too?
Yeah, that was just me messing around. So good actually came from my best friend, Connor Gillespie, who, fun fact, did the designs for almost every single piece of my merch.
Oh, nice.
Great guy.
Wow.
There was only 2 pieces he didn't do. It was the original Impact Players logo, and he didn't do my Mr. Match of the Night shirt, but everything else, all the silhouettes you saw, larger than life, every single shirt, words aren't real, did them all. Nice. Great guy. Love him to death. He would always make these jokes when we were in college, and like somebody say it was good, and he'd be like, "How good?" And he'd be like, "So good." And we joked, and I was like, "I'll do that in the show." He was like, dared me basically. I don't know how it happened, so I started doing it, and it caught on. And that's the origin of So Good.
So when you started watching wrestling, who were ones, like you said, Taker, obviously, who's something that you watched that you kind of tried to mimic a little bit?
Chris Benoit, 100%. Yeah. Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, rest in peace. I can't do that one.
Yeah.
I really want to do one horrible one. Aside from everything he did, right? It's all objective. I try to separate the person from the artist from the art, and he had a lot of brain damage, so there's a lot of things. But as a wrestler, him, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, lots of things we stole from Eddie Guerrero in tag matches with those title shots. So many things. We loved lying, cheating, and stealing. I was a bad guy. I was like, I'm gonna win dirty. I got over having to beat somebody. I was like, we're gonna cheat. Scotty Too Hottie. I can do the worm only because of him. And then classic Stone Cold, Rock, even Triple H. Some. Those were the guys I loved when I was a kid. I got older. I was really big, and when I started wrestling, I was really big into AJ Styles. I think he's the best wrestler in the world right now. Kevin Owens, he's great. People like Timothy Thatcher. I liked Zack Sabre Jr., but Timothy Thatcher was bigger, so it was. Yeah. And I got to meet him in Germany, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Very quiet guy, funny dude. But I really tried to follow like the way because he was so he doesn't have the quote unquote traditional charisma, and I don't think I ever had the traditional charisma either. He was so aggressive and so just nasty with all
Very
of his...
much like Benoit.
Yeah.
His charisma will speak in the ring.
And I love the way he went about it. And I had a little bit more, I think, traditional, but I could bring it in. And I liked his style more than Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. was real... Because he's smaller, real pretty and floating around. And like Chris Benoit and Timothy Thatcher just dirty. I'm going to beat you up and I'm going to hit these. And that's... Yeah, guys like that. There's probably more that I'm not naming, but there's a bunch of guys that I love.
How did you decide on the finish with the drone killer, the double R, the Drew McIntyre DDT?
We were just trying to find a finish for me that I could hit on anybody, and Kirby gave me the idea because it was originally Future Shock, right? The way, because I wrapped my legs, and I hit it, and it was just like, Kirby was like, that's beautiful. I've never seen anybody hit that DDT like that, and I just did it a couple times, and I was like, all right, I guess that's our finish. That's my finish then.
Yeah.
That's all that came about. There's that, and then Kirby Kirby gave me the big suplex I did, the pump handle, basically follow it. He gave that to me, and the reason he gave it to me, he was teaching it us. And he's like, maybe I'll give it to you one day, and I threw it, and he's like, you're doing it now. He's like, I could never
It's yours
do it.
now.
He's like, you do it better than I ever possibly have or can. So.
Greg Birchfield asks, emo Dave or larger than life Dave?
You mean Impact Players, Dave? Maybe.
He was in Larger Than Life for a little bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, just a tad. It was when y'all did.
Emo Dave made me laugh the most. When he was on the team, I love Dave as a person. We didn't get along as on a team together. We butted heads a lot. So once he got out of the team, we honestly got along way better. So personally, probably Emo Dave. But I did have fun wrestling with him. Like, I'm not going to take that away. Dave was one of my best friends here in wrestling. One of my first real friends when he came down and stuff. Great friend. We did butt heads for sure.
Well, that's a mark of a good friend. You butt heads all the time, and you can still come back and do good work.
Yeah. There was one that was like the kind of the final straw, I think, between all of us, and we were just done. And it took a couple months, but we all got over it, and we were fine.
So that's when the turn happened, and suddenly he was out of the group.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
That's when Dave got thrown out of the group.
But and then honestly, the second run when he came back after that, I think we'd all kind of cooled off, and I think we'd all kind of, because we were all new and trying to figure out and trying to throw our ideas around, and we just differed creatively, and I think that's where a lot of the headbutting came from. So when he came around the second time, it was way easier, way smoother. We were just like, yeah, we can figure that out. Oh, that idea I like this, I don't like that. Way easier, way smoother.
Yeah, I'll never forget because it was that second round when it was the Crypt versus y'all on the loser leaves match or whatever. And they had duct taped you to the thing, and you're like, "Give me a knife," and I'm like, "Really? Like, do you actually want me to?" And you literally ripped the barricade off. I was like, "Oh, he actually did want the knife. Damn."
Because the straps are holding together. I was like, "Take it off," and you use your hand. And I kicked it. Take it off.
I was like, "Oh, damn, he was serious."
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember what they gave me, but because I was a theater kid, so I was like, I can make this look very emotional. I feel like. And everyone said that was exactly what they were looking for.
Yes,
so.
it was. That was amazing.
Remedy wants to know if you'd ever come back.
I mean, they say never say never, but I wouldn't hold your breath.
So about the same as you, Remedy.
We love you, Remedy.
It's like it would make a lot of people
I
very
want both
happy.
y'all back, so.
It says I miss seeing you in the ring.
You and a lot of people, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had fun. Honestly, I can be honest. I miss the art of wrestling. I don't miss the matches. I honestly don't miss being in front of fans. It sounds really shitty to say.
So you enjoyed where it was the empty one where y'all just filmed during COVID?
I had a really great match with Byron.
You really did. That was one of the only things. I'm sorry. That's only one of the things I liked about Fight When Survive was you and Byron.
We had a wonderful match and we had good chemistry. I really like Byron. I liked working with him. But I don't know if I liked that or. I love the art of wrestling and training. I love the camaraderie and I love just kind of hanging out. And sometimes you get mad, right? But you just kind of work on stuff. And I love just being able. I would make us chain wrestle for an hour. Just get in there and go. It was so much fun for me. And Kirby was happy because he doesn't like chain wrestling, so it's like you can teach all of that, Ryan. So I miss that. I don't miss the travel. I don't miss the shitty people you meet in wrestling, which you meet shitty people everywhere, but you don't necessarily have to deal with them as much as you do in wrestling. Right.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a special breed of shitty people in wrestling.
Yeah, a lot of them end up being the people in charge of shows, right? Or have say over your career.
How did you come up with the wrist snap maneuver?
So, if anybody knows Johnny Hendricks, former UFC welterweight champion, I started training with him. This was before I even went to Germany because I was feeling stagnant and I wanted to get some more stuff and we were just working on some things and he knew it. And he was really cool because he was actually very helpful when he found out pro wrestling because he was used to like real wrestlers. Like he was a two-time national champion collegiate wrestler. And he's like, yeah, I went home and started like watching some wrestling and kind of get an idea, which is really cool. Like he actually invested. And I was like, I'm just looking for something that could be nasty that I could do from here. Like he showed me some takedowns and where I could grab, and we were just working on it. And he showed me where to go, and I had this, and I just went, and I was like, oh, I could do that, it'd be sick. And I took it to training, and everyone was like, yeah.
It was effective.
I wanted something because I debuted it against Sardakis because I wanted something to kind of like, he's a monster, right? Yep. So I wanted something to attack him with to make it look believable, and it was against the hand he used the slam with. So I think it worked out perfect. And then obviously it was so good that I tried to keep using it. And I didn't want to overuse it, but I tried to keep using it. And certain people made it look better than other people with the way they sold afterwards. Kayfabe, whatever. I will forever love you, Dimitri. But yeah, I love the wrist snap. Everyone else loved it. And it made me kind of unique. Nobody had that, right? People had different kind of snaps and stuff. But that one was just different.
What's funny is when you started doing that, my first thought was, I want to see Ryan versus Chris Cruz.
I did wrestle Chris Cruz. He gave me a black eye. Kicked me right. It's a tag match. Great. I love Chris Cruz.
But it's like because somebody else did the wrist snap once at Lucha Vital.
The finger snap.
The
finger snap. Yeah,
and he snapped them all back. Yeah.
It's like I just want to see that.
Chris is a great guy. I love Chris. He's a good dude. Him and his brother both.
No, that's what I liked because you were doing the whole tap or snap challenge, that whole thing. Try to tap, and I kept thinking, I was like, it was before Jerome came back. I was like, oh, this would be great to have Jerome come in, and then have Ryan versus Jerome.
And well, now,
and
they were talking about doing that with, I think Aaron Mercer was thought about for that too. Mercer would have been fun. Mercer's a cool dude too.
Yep.
And he was before he got into deathmatch stuff. I'm a fan of, not me. Good on you, not me.
So you're saying you don't want to do deathmatch with Mercer?
Never. But I would have done a submissions match with Mercer, 100%.
Greg asks, Ryan, if you ever come back, would you ever go up against Becker in a singles match?
Well, I'm not coming back. But I mean, yeah, sure. I don't see why not. If I did come back, that's probably the story to tell, right? But we had the ideas. We wanted to get signed. We wanted to be the best tag team in the world. And we wanted to get signed, and we didn't want to break up until we got to a major company, and they made that decision for us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I come back, I just do whatever I was told. That's kind of how I was anyways. Just do it and get over it and move on. You know, you got a job to do.
Yeah.
So.
It looks like Remedy wants a death match.
You can have that death match with Mercer, Remedy. Not me, fam.
I gotta say, it was surprisingly good. I mean, admittedly, you were going up against Sky, who's one of the better deathmatch guys in the first place. So
yeah,
the chemistry y'all had was really good.
Yeah, I had a few. I had one with him, and I had one I think that's honestly even better. No offense to Sky, but I learned more. And with Kirby later, it was a tables match.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to prove that I could do it. I just didn't want to make it a regular thing. I didn't want to be that guy. I don't like that stuff.
All it takes is one sometimes.
You know, I don't want to bleed. And that stuff hurts, you know? Like, we already do enough to hurt ourselves, and I'm like, I don't want to add extra risk into it, was the honest truth. And I like actually wrestling. Not that deathmatch wrestling isn't wrestling, but I like the pure, more mat style of wrestling, you know? So I had fun with them, don't get me wrong. The one with Kirby hurt less for me.
Well, and that's the thing. Like when you did the one with Sky, I even said several times on the show, I was like, we saw a different side. We saw your vicious side, and that's something we hadn't really seen. I was like, it was really good.
Well, it was a good thing for me too, like you said, character-wise, I could show like I'm not just some guy who jokes around, even though that is what I am in real life all the time. I make jokes about everything. I'm depressed and sad. I make a joke about it.
Yep.
But
it's the only way to deal and cope with it.
That's how I deal.
Been doing it for 35 years.
I get people to get really mad at me for it, but yeah, and it kind of gave me a little bit of an edge too after that too to stay aggressive. It just because my big thing was I didn't have a lot of character or charisma. I was like, but I can always be aggressive.
Right.
Aggression is something everybody can understand. So try to stick with that.
Let's see. Remedy says he always wanted to be the third member of Larger Than Life. He could be your Tank Abbott.
I'm fucking in. Yes, you could have been my Tank Abbott. Oh my God.
See, there we go. So Ryan will come back if we get Remedy as Tank Abbott.
Oh, yes. Always in. Dude,
I can already hear the pencil scratch of certain management members.
This would have been amazing. Do you know how much we would have just said, talk so much shit, and literally just hid behind you? Like, the comedy gold we could have done.
Man. And that was actually something I was going to ask. It's like the interactions you and Tommy had in the ring, especially my favorite, come to the sound of my silken voice.
I'm so glad that you like that. I don't remember where I originally heard that from. It was some video, but I thought it was always hilarious since I was a kid. And so, oh my God, I know it was a video game, Borderlands. The little robot dude would yell that. And I didn't play that game much. I just played it with a friend once. And I was like, that's hilarious. And it always stuck in my head. So like somebody I'm glad it caught. I would say any stupid thing I could to see if it would catch on. And some of them would, some of them wouldn't. But that's how it works. But coming to the sound of my soothing voice was so much fun for me.
That was great.
Greg asks, do you still watch MPX matches, and does it make you say you miss this other than the traveling?
No. I haven't watched anything really. I watched I think it was Jackson versus Tommy Dean. I heard that one was really good. I watched a Tommy match. I can't remember who. Maybe the first one versus Casey. Then I watched the Rumble, which I only watched Tommy versus Casey, and I watched the Rumble. Yeah, I don't miss it. I get angry and I'm a perfectionist. So I see things that fans don't. So I see things I'm like, God.
Stuff that Kyle and I try not to talk about because
I was just kind of
people get
laughing
mad
at
at
certain
us.
things.
Yeah, I was gonna say I felt bad because the girls wanted me to sit with them hot, and I'm just sitting there the whole time hearing one. I'm like, oh my God, this is so bad, this is so bad. And she's like, what? And I was like, don't. I'm overanalyzing. Don't worry about it.
Unless you want our job, you don't want to know.
It's just what I do.
That's okay. If Courtney ever actually gets into being a referee and everything like that, she'll notice and she'll suddenly be just as bitter as the rest of us.
That's the big thing, especially when you wrestle. Like you don't watch wrestling the same at all. So it's hard to watch wrestling a lot of the time for me, and especially with me being a perfectionist. Like I said, I get mad anything gets messed up in my matches, something goes wrong. Unless it's something that can't be helped, right?
Right.
But, and not good. Like I shouldn't get that angry, but it's just how I am. And I don't, like I said, I don't really miss it. I thought the Rumble was fun, but I didn't want to do that. Props to Kirby though, going 1 to literally the end of the Rumble.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't want to do that. I never wanted to do that.
You didn't want to do the 50 minutes? They told you.
I didn't.
Speaking of getting mad at things going wrong in matches, you said you were going to talk about that shoulder injury.
Shoulder injury. New Texas Pro Wrestling. Love New Texas. Shout out to Kiefer Bartek. Great promotion. Yeah. So fucking Max Heights. Not even your real name.
Came back. Okay.
Not even your real name. Michael Hernandez. I hope somebody clips this and sends it to you.
Get on it, Sydney.
No, I love Max. He that match we were just wrestling his normal match was us versus him and Tempo. Great guys. Just freak accident. He dove over the top rope on me and Tommy, hit my shoulder in a way, and my AC joint just was like, nope. I got a pretty bad sprain in it, and I was very angry. When I get hurt, I get angry. I started punching the ground because I remember a fan saying something. I don't even think he was being mean. He asked if I was okay, and I just, I'll fucking end you.
Were you supposed to be a heel in that match?
Yes, I was.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
They were. So, and the dude was like, oh, God. I was like, I felt bad. I feel bad for saying that. But yeah, that one hurt a lot. And my dumbass tried to get back in the ring. I couldn't lift my arm. Like, I couldn't go this way. I couldn't pick people up. It was just here. Like, I could go maybe this high. And I got back in, and I tried to do some stuff, and I went over, and the ref at the time was still learning. He would not pay attention. Jamie was yelling at him to get his attention. But I basically, it's like, I'm hurt. We got to go. We got to finish this match. I come in. I still take the hot tag. I was supposed to take the pin. They switched it to Tommy. We go in the back, and it's funny as my parents were there. They drove all the way out there. They had some friends and family in Abilene, and they wanted to see me wrestle. And my mom just barges to the back to check on me. Baby D was already there, and Baby D's a nurse. She was helping me out. And she forced my dad to come back. So my mom's like, I know, that was real. But yeah, and I got an MRI. I was out. It was a bad sprain. I couldn't do much at all for 2 months. Yeah, that one sucked. But yeah, that was it. I feel like I was gonna say something else, but I forgot. So
there was. I remember one story hearing about you had one like big dude try to come over the top at you, and you had to catch him.
I don't remember.
No, you don't. Okay,
it's possible.
Yeah, it was something you and Kirby were joking about at training at one point, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, we joke about a lot of things.
Yeah, it's been a number of years, so it just makes sense.
I was gonna say I was always impressed with because I saw it 2 times of how when Tommy got injured or Tommy was out or whatever, how you kind of just took over. Like there was one in DCW, something happened with the rope and he snapped it.
His head went those ropes sucked at DCW. It was a mirror spot. The guy hit the ropes and then Tommy hit the ropes behind him, but they're wobbling. And he couldn't see it. And he tried to grab it. He missed, and the rope he went under and he just kind of collapsed.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at him,
jumped in.
and I was like, "What is going on?" And the dude kept trying to do stuff. I was like, "Stop!"
Because there was that one, and then obviously the new Texas one with his leg. You immediately kind of took over that too.
Yeah, I kind of got to this point where I was just a quote unquote ring general, whatever you want to call it, right? Like, I just understood what we needed to do. I knew how to make things work, and I know this sounds like braggadocious, I guess, but. It's just honestly,
you deserve it if anybody does.
Yeah.
I just figured it out, and I knew what to do. I knew how to, because other people get deer in headlights, and that's just not who I am as a person in general. I was like, I've got to take action if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, and I had a lot of help, a lot of training from people like Palmer and Athena to kind of help put that all into me. Because they helped me a lot in my career too. So.
Yeah.
With talking about the whole ring general and stuff like that, what was it like to be in with Exodus, who has kind of shown and proven he's also a ring general type person? Like, how did that match kind of flow?
Oh, it was easy. It was fun. He forgot. Nothing towards him. A couple of things were forgot, but it's not a big deal because when you talk to each other, it doesn't matter. Exodus is great, solid dude. He caught me once with a forearm, and I got very mad. And he apologized nonstop, and I was like, dude, I'm sorry for getting so mad.
Hey, it made the emotion of the match more real.
It wasn't even the match. It was the week before.
Oh.
But, I mean, wrestling with Exodus is a lot of fun. Exodus is a really good dude, really good and solid in the ring. And he started late, honestly. I wish he'd started. I'm sure he had switches too, but, we all have our own life. It goes in different ways, and he's really good. It was a lot of fun. We didn't have really anything. No issues. Nothing went off the cuff, I don't think. Everything went to plan.
Nice. Solid
dude.
Yeah. So somebody asked in the chat, how's the acting going?
Acting? Who said that?
A couple of people, actually.
Yeah.
I know Iron Belly did.
Yeah.
So I've actually mainly been writing more than acting because I don't know. I did the whole in front of everybody thing, right? And I love acting. Acting is a love of mine. I want to do some more. I've written a lot of skits that I want to put on YouTube, honestly, that I think are going to be hilarious. It's all like SNL style stuff, right? But
nice.
I'll probably act on them, but I haven't gotten to anything with that yet. I've been really busy with other things in life, but I've been writing a lot. I write a lot of poetry, honestly, which probably surprises a lot of people. This big burly wrestler has a very big soft side. And they're just, talking about how I feel and stuff. And I've got something in the works that I want to do for that. I don't know how long it's going to take, and I don't want to, just put it out there to jinx it or anything. But, be on the lookout for that. And eventually, I would like to write stuff like shows, movies, different things, right? Like I said, I've got all the skits. I want to get into acting. I just want to be in entertainment. I love entertainment. It's a big thing for wrestling is to combine my love of entertainment and sport. So, yeah, lots of poetry. I think I've got 70 poems written right now.
Nice.
It's a lot. Nonstop. Nobody call me and ask me if I'm okay after they read them.
Yeah, Remedy put a story. He says, I made a ref throw up once when I broke my finger and kept wrestling.
I have no doubt. Remedy's one of the toughest dudes. Dude, Remedy's such a great dude.
He is.
And he's one of those guys, I know he's probably been through some stuff in his life, and those guys like that are always one of the best dudes I've ever met in my life. He's all the love to Remedy.
Yeah, he
and
is.
I have no doubt that he broke his fucking finger and kept wrestling. He's so tough.
It always reminds me of the story when people talk about breaking a finger in wrestling. Mr. Perfect told the story of when Bret Hart and Flair fought, and it was when Bret won the title the first time. Bret dislocated his finger, and Perfect saw it, and he leaned over, and he's like, are you right? And Bret literally just looked at him and went like that, popped it, and went back in, and you can see it on film. Kurt Hennig turned like that, and he's like, oh my God.
Why, bro? Why?
The honest truth is, I finish these matches while hurt. It's because we're stupid. I think Kirby said it before. Don't do it. Just get help. We're all tough guys, but we're in fake fighting. Remedy is one of the toughest dudes. I would not have been mad at him if he'd stopped breaking his finger. You know?
He says, I've seen some things.
Yeah.
I know you
We
have.
know.
Man, though.
Greg asked, did you like being the lead in matches?
Yeah, I did. It got to a point where I felt like I could, something gonna sound very braggadocious, but I felt like I could rise up to the occasion, and I could also make other people rise up to my level. So I had a lot of fun. I got to the point where I felt like I could lead the match no matter what, and it was a lot of fun when I got with other people like a Kirby, where we could both lead the match, and it was just easy. You know, I love that. But yeah, I had fun. You know, quote unquote being a leader in the match or whatever, and it's just like I said, my personality of who I am. This A-type personality, whatever you want to call it. Just I didn't like not having that kind of control and being able to lead it. You know what I mean?
It's because it kind of helps your perfectionist, where you're like, no, if I control it, therefore.
Yep. You hope.
One does. All right. I think. Yep. Yeah. So yeah,
2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours. As it is almost 9 o'clock.
He didn't want to go 1 hour, remember?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
We
So
can keep talking if y'all want to. I can probably go another 30 minutes, but if you guys got to go.
I do try to keep it to 2 hours unless, somebody keeps bullying me into it.
I'll bully you into it. What are we doing?
He's done it before. He's twisted your arm before.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
You're just going to give it to me raw? What are you doing?
I'm the guy who gets beat up. That's my role on mainline,
Stop.
It's like I intro the matches and then, I get my ass kicked. That's,
I feel like I had other
it's
things.
like currently Gabe is the one, constantly doing that
Good,
to
there's
me.
still somebody.
Yeah. It was Dave, Kirby, you, now it's Gabe.
I feel like I had other stuff I was going to say that I was thinking about, but they all slip out of my head. There's a lot of things to say.
Yeah.
So there's undocumented concussions, right?
Well, you know what? Whenever you release whatever major project you're working on, we'll get you back on the show and just talk about that and everything.
Yep.
Like
That's
that.
cool with me.
So thank you very much for tuning in, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen. This was actually a really great experience. It was something we have been hoping for since we started doing this. Make sure you get your tickets for this Saturday because obviously it promises to be one not to miss.
It's going to be a show.
Yep.
Season pass.
Oh yeah, the season
passes.
passes for March are still going on. Make sure you get them. You also want to make sure you tag
There you
that
go.
button for March 19th for Destiny to get front row if you want front row. Because if you miss that, you're SOL.
I'm not coming back. Stop asking.
Yeah, that does seem to be the common question. When, if, everything like that. But thank you very much for joining us,
No,
Ryan.
thanks for having me, guys.
was
And
awesome.
we will see y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it
I won't.
kayfabe.
We'll see you next Wednesday, by the way.
Yep. Mark out.